Hey everybody, I'm Chris Norman, and a lot of people have sent me messages asking to see actual GURPS gameplay. Then other people have sent me messages asking to see actual GURPS GMing so they could understand how it all flows together. And then other people have asked to see actual GURPS gameplay because they just want to see how well the system works in Foundry. Well, this video is for all of you. If you found this video because you want to learn about GURPS, you might try my Learning GURPS series. The link is right up there. But if you want to see what it's like for a journeyman game master like myself to run some GURPS newbies through a one-shot adventure, then you're in luck. For a few years, I've wanted to play GURPS with my nephews, but they live in different states, and we've never been able to make it happen. After about a year of development on the GURPS game aid for Foundry, I finally thought, this could work. Now to find the time. And after another year of work and procrastination, I was finally able to build up a one-shot. I used Matthew Colville's advice and just stole something that I liked, which is actually one of his ideas, but isn't imitation the best form of flattery or something like that? I'm running this one-shot for Jeff and Pat, and neither have played GURPS before. Jeff has played in a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, and for some of the time, they used Roll20. I showed both of them a basic combat maneuvers list and their character sheets, but really didn't describe much more. So I'll be explaining the rules as we go. I feel that this works better for a brand new player than trying to dump a mass list of rules at the very beginning. Of course, since we're playing online, this will also include instructions on how to use the GURPS game aid for Foundry. I was also hoping to show off the flashiness of Foundry. I've added JB2A animations to their primary attacks, shout out to JB2A, and I also added sound effects. I mean, why not? And of course, there's lighting and walls to block line of sight, and all the really cool stuff comes into play in sessions 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I'm running my own mashup of basic set rules with a smattering of martial arts. I love tactical combat, and the martial arts supplement has a lot of nice additions. But the biggest feature of this video is that I give a director's commentary over the top. At certain points in the video, I'll stop the action and tell you why I made the decision that I did, or give you some additional background, or more likely, point out the mistake I made. This took forever to edit, so I'm not certain I'll do the same level in future sessions, but hopefully it will be entertaining and informative. So, with no further ado, on with the show. Thanks, guys, for playing. I did want to point out a couple of things. Stan, I changed your writing skill to a first aid skill because it turned out I didn't give you first aid.
Oh, yes. Okay, good.
And we had talked about fatigue points and hit points, but I never told you the regeneration level, which is different in GURPS. You get a fatigue point back if you can rest for 10 minutes. And it's got to be resting, not walking and stuff. And you get a hit point back if you, 1 per day, and that's if you make a health roll, an HT roll at the end of the day. So it comes back a lot slower than other games you might be used to. Now, you also have 3 story points, and these are points that you can spend in case something bad happens. So, like, the most common uses are if you take some damage, and it's a really bad amount of damage, and you could just go, you know what, I'm going to spend a story point, and that's just going to become a flesh wound. And that's fine. You've got 3 of those per session. Another thing you can do is if you make a roll and you fail it, you can spend a story point to get retroactive luck, which means you get to roll 2 more times to see if you can make the roll. But you've only got 3 of those for the night. At this point, I'm going to go on and describe sort of how the characters get together. But notice, these 2 are playing the characters that I created in the other videos. Geralt, the beginning witcher, and Stampeden, the totally honest or brutally honest outdoorsman. Also note, in Foundry, I have a 2D painting in the background. I just found it online. Something to present to the characters or the players so they're not bored. You know, they're not going to play on this. It's just background while I talk about other stuff. And then finally, I put my important story notes in journal entries. So as I'm thinking about stuff, I can add it in there and then also read from there later. Tilsdale the merchant is looking for some help because normally he travels. So you guys kind of spend your time in this nice little village called Lower Gralt. And Tilsdale the merchant, about once a month, travels to Upper Gralt with his son-in-law, and they, you know, transport stuff. His son-in-law comes down from Upper Gralt, picks him up, and blah. Well, it's the middle of the month, and Tilsdale needs to go to Upper Gralt, and he'd like to hire you two to go with him because his son-in-law is not here. So he's hoping you guys would do that.
Classic career starting quest.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let's do it.
Got to get you into it. Okay. So he gets his little wagon together, and you guys trundle off. It's about 5 days travel. It's a little less than 100 miles. You're following the Gralt River, and nothing really eventful happens. Every night you set up camp, and he says that, look, you guys are the muscle. I need you prepared in the middle of the day, so I'll handle the midnight watch. If you guys can handle the early morning and the late evening watch, I'll handle the middle watch.
Okay. What are we transporting?
Now, actually, that caught me by surprise because I never had that as part of the story. So I'm literally pulling that one out of thin air. Sweet potatoes. Yeah, you're transporting sweet potatoes. But as a GM, that's going to happen. What you want to do is, as best as possible, not let the players know that might have been an insignificant fact, or at least to you, but to them, it's part of the story. So do your best, and if you have to, suggest that you need to look it up. It's written down somewhere, but you don't have it yet. But I was able to come up with sweet potatoes, and we went from there. Oh, he's got, it's one of the farmers had a bonus crop, and it was, what was it, sweet potatoes, I think? He grabbed a whole bunch, and he's afraid to let them sit around. He wants to transport them now because he thinks the weather, well, you can see it's raining at the moment. The weather's going to get wet, and he can't store them, so he wants to get them into the city. So it's just a big thing of sweet potatoes, but there's things that might occur along the way, and he's not really into that much fighting, so he's just there. You're just there to help him out.
So like typical, dangers for this region. It's your wolves and your wildlife.
Yeah, it's that. There is a road. It's not a highway. It's not like a Roman highway. It's a path that's not too far off the river. I mean, it's a 100-mile trek, so sometimes the road gets a little nasty, and there haven't really been any stories of brigands and stuff. He's really just asking you to protect him from the wildlife.
Probably just want some company. Gets a little boring.
There is that too. Now, he said he'll pay you. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. He said he'll pay you 1,000 copper. Now, the way that money works in the system, if you look at your character sheet, and you'll see things, there's a column that's a $sign, and that in this world is copper. And the way it works in GURPS is I think it's 2 copper or so, 2 or 3 copper equates to a loaf of bread. So if you take that in modern day and you say loaf of bread, well, that's $2 or $3. So it turns out that a copper is worth about $1 in today's money. Now, I may not actually have the GURPS rules for money correct. I believe it was the loaf of bread thing. But I do like basing the Tech 3 copper in some unit of money that the players are going to understand, because that could give them some, general idea of how valuable things are. So he's offering you $200 a day to take
Yeah.
them for 5 days. Now, if it takes longer than 5 days, it's basically just the straight 1,000 copper. Now, silver are 20 copper, and gold are 20 silver. So gold is $400 basically in today's money.
Yeah.
This place he's asked us to go to market, is this like a place that we would want to be?
Oh yeah, it's Upper Grault is the
nice.
city. You guys are in Lower Grault, which is basically a little village. Upper Grault's a full-fledged city.
Okay, so there might be some interesting things there to.
I mean, it
Exactly.
sounds like we already left. We're already on the way.
Well,
all right,
you
all right.
guys are asking questions about it, and this is, but
Well, I'm in. We're on board. Let's go.
we're on board exactly. So that's the money,
Preston.
and
Yeah, deals good. Price is right.
deal's good. He'll pay you the 200 now and 800 when he gets there. So 2
All right.
gold when you get there, and it's like 4 silver now.
Nice.
So the thing is, so every night you set up camp. You get away from the road just a little bit. Nothing fancy. Do you guys have any skills that might help you in setting up camp? And there you have it, the first suggestion I made in the gameplay video. To get your players more interested, ask them what skills they could use. Don't tell them to roll this skill. Say what skills might be useful. And that allows them to, stretch their imagination. In this case, it was something pretty simple for both of them, but I really wanted to engage them. By the way, sorry about the shiny head. The camera was up high, and I kept looking down at the keyboard, so you saw the top of my head. And also, I'm constantly looking over to the side, because that's where I set up the Discord, and I kept forgetting that the camera's not there. The camera's over the main screen, but oh well, I'm not getting paid for this.
I'm a naturalist, and I have survival in the forest and grasslands. So
Cool. So which one's better?
survival.
All right. So
Let's say we're in the forest.
roll, go with Forest.
They're the same.
Roll that and see what you get. Perfect.
Oh, nice.
Made it by 4. So yeah, you guys set up camp first night. It's pretty good. Jeff, roll a d6 for me. So right mouse click on those 3 dice down there, and that'll just roll a straight d6. All right, good deal. Perfect. We got lots of them.
So when it says it made it by 4 on the success, how did we determine what the difficulty
So
was on?
my skill's on 11, and he was just saying it's a no modifier, right?
So looking at Geralt's character sheet, if you say looked at first, or you have survival woodlands, and it shows 9. There's a little button that has 9, and right to the right of it, it's PER -1, perception -1, which is also 9. So what that is if you were trying to roll survival woodlands, you'd click either one of those buttons. It's the same button. I just made them both accessible so that you get a little more space to click on. And you're going to roll 3d6. And you're trying to get that number or less. So
Or less.
Or less, right. So lower numbers are less susceptible, or less successful. A 10, a skill of 10 is a 50% chance. Right? A skill of 9 is a 38.5% chance. And it drops down. Now it's a bell curve because it's a 3d6, system. So you could click on your 9 and roll it. Go for it, just so you can see it happen. And boom, you rolled a 9 and your skill is 9, and so you made it.
So Pat's skill is 7.
11.
Or 11.
His skill was 11, exactly. Now, if on Geralt's character sheet you have brawling and fast draw knives, which are skills 14, and your two-handed sword is a skill of 15. So a skill of 15 is like excellent, above mastery or in the mastery level. 10, 11, and 12 is kind of your not journeyman, but
Above average.
yeah, well, definitely. No, that's normally what most people are that are good. 12's darn good. And then anything above that, you're starting to get into exceptional. Now, you don't roll for everything. Like, we don't roll for walking. You're assumed to make that. You only roll for things when it's a critical situation and you're trying to figure out, did I make it this time critical type of thing? Now, what I might do is I might tell you that there's a negative to it, a plus or minus to it. Like, let's say, so you make it through the first day and you set up camp for the second day. But this place is a little marshy. It's not as good. So each of you need to make survival woodland rolls, but at a -1. Now, the quickest way you can do that is that little red box down there at the bottom. Just mouse wheel down, you'll get a -1. Or you can... And then once you've done that, now click on your skill, and it will apply the -1 to your roll. And now, so basically, Geralt, it'll take your 9 down to an 8.
Yeah. I see it now.
Gotcha.
I thought you could do it directly from that interface right there.
Yeah. And you can just use your mouse wheel to pick a -9.
Oh, okay.
I mean, a -1. Or you can click on any of the buttons in there. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do in there. But if you just need the -1, you just do that. And then you go back to your survival woodland skill and you attempt it. Boom. And so you made it. So Stan missed his, but you...
I made the first one.
Right. So the first night you did okay.
Oh, okay.
The second night, Stan, you're trying to set up some place and Geralt taps you on the shoulder and he's like, no, that's gonna turn into marsh overnight. You need to move over here.
There's a hornet's nest above you.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. Now, it's very easy to just determine the outcome of a roll and move on. But this is a kind of a thematic game. So I like to try to describe the results of the roll. In this case, Stan failed and Geralt made it, so I want to explain how that worked out. And I think it goes better to tell the story and to immerse your players in the game.
Not Stan.
Stan, roll me
all right.
Stan, roll me a D6. Now, honestly, I didn't actually have a use for that D6. I was using it to try to convince the players that there was going to be a random encounter. But because this was the very first game, I really only wanted to have one encounter on their trip. Of course, I make a mistake on that later, but you'll see what that is.
That's supposed to be a woodsman.
Oh.
Perfect. Okay, so the that night goes uneventful. And let's see, that's second night. So third night, we set up and each of you, it's okay. There's no negative now. So each of you just roll your survival woodland skills. We'll see if you make it. Okay. So it's kind of rocky and rough here. You thought it was a nice area. It's really difficult to find a good place to set up your camp, but you set up your camp. And here was my first mistake. I actually meant to have them lose some fatigue for not being able to set up a good campsite. But I was so excited about starting the first combat, I forgot all about it. So, I mean, it's not that big of an error, but it was an error. And if they had reminded me, I would have applied it, but it's no big deal. It's a game. We moved on. And then...
Oh, we got some atmospheric music.
Love it.
Some real production quality. Not used to this.
And so, let's do that. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, I got to tell you about this other module we use called the Token Tooltip Alt. And that's what's just popped up over the top of Geralt. And you have to configure it, but we have the configuration file for GURPS in our user's guide. You can look it up there, you can download it and install it. But when you do that, then when you mouse over a token, you'll see the hit points, current and max, fatigue points, current and max. You'll see the current move, any defenses they have, in this case, dodge 10, parry 11, and then their perception value of 10. So it's just a quick view. But the beauty is that's only what the GM sees. The PCs, when they look at other things, they look at somebody who's neutral or hostile, they're only going to see some English words like okay or injured or whatnot. But it's kind of a cool way for them to get some idea of what's happening to the NPCs, and of course it provides instant information for the GM. Don't worry about those double boxes. That's a bug we're still trying to figure out. By the way, after recording this, we figured out what was causing the double maneuver boxes, and we fixed it. At some time in the future, we fixed it. But that's the beauty of playing with software as you're writing it. You're all lying on the ground, and it's the middle of the night, and Tisdale was supposed to have been on watch, but he's asleep. And if you look at both of your characters in below the hit locations, there's a box that says conditional modifiers, and it has a +6 modifier on all IQ rolls to wake up or recover from surprise or mental stun. So, what you want to do is click on the +6 and then go click on your intelligence, your IQ. Let's see if you wake up.
Oh no!
Oh!
18.
By the way, 17s and 18s are always failures. There's nothing about that.
Wait, oh gosh. Made it, okay.
All right, so Stan, you are sleeping. Or you're kind of stunned. No, we'll put you at sleeping. And Geralt, you have been awakened by a kind of a noise, a growl. You see that Tisdale is asleep. Now, this shows off one of the nice features of Foundry. You're watching the GM screen, obviously, but if I click on a player token, then it changes the lighting to show you what the player's token can see. So when I clicked on Geralt, you could see that they could only see one of the wolves and not all the rest. And then when you unclick that as a GM, then you get to see everything else again. Now, we are in combat, and the second tab to the left on the upper right hand of your screen is the crossed swords. That's the combat tracker. Now, it's really important to see the chat log, so I usually pop out the combat tracker. So if you right mouse click on that tab, the combat tracker will pop out and you can put it wherever you want. So now what I just did was GURPS combat. The turns are ordered by your character's speed. And then I think it's speed and then dex, and then if there's still a tie, it's a random d6 roll. So this has gone through and ordered everybody in order. And then when we start, actually we will start right now. There we go. So that little blue spinning rune is indicating whose turn it is. And then there's a white or yellowish spinning one for who's on deck. By the way, that's the Smart Combat Turn Marker module by the Ripper 93. He has created a lot of modules for Foundry. I highly recommend you checking out what he's got. He's got a bunch of free ones, and then he, of course, he has Patreon ones. I've also, I use the Splatter one to show blood, and the Patrol one, which I use a lot, you'll see later. So when you see it, yellow one around you, you're on deck. So here's where we get into that combat thing. And again, on your character sheet, in that little blank area on the top right, there is that link for combat. And that brings you to the combat PDF. I'll put it in the chat too. Let's see, it was called CSA, I think. Yeah, that's it. So if you don't see it on your character sheet, I've posted it in the chat log. Well, as Geralt, but now what I did here is I took my combat cheat sheet Google Doc and whittled it down to a beginning set of maneuvers and created a PDF for it. And then I did a medium set of maneuvers and a full set of maneuvers. And I loaded all the PDFs into Foundry, and then that allowed me to set them up so that I could access them as links using our on-the-fly system. So in that little box there is just a link to the beginning PDF of combat maneuvers. So it is your turn to pick a maneuver. Now, you are lying on the ground.
Well, I think I want to get up.
Okay. So you got two options. You can change posture to try to go to kneeling.
Yeah.
Or I'll let you attempt to try to do an acrobatic flip to get up. But it's going to cost you a fatigue point because that's kind of a healthy maneuver. Now, I sort of remember something about this in the basic set, but I wasn't going to go look it up. So I just made it up on the fly. Make an acrobatics roll, and if you're successful and you pay the fatigue point, then you can make it to standing. Yeah, sounds good. If it's not exactly right, who cares? It's my game, and the players have fun with it.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Top points.
So first, let's spend the fatigue points. So there's three ways you could do it. You could, on your character sheet, there's a box for fatigue. You could just click that down. Or in the chat window, you can type FP space -1, and that subtracts 1. Or when your character is selected, in the top left, there's that token action HUD thing. Under attributes, there are now 4 buttons. You can hit points +1, -1, fatigue +1, -1. So if you just need to subtract 1 fatigue, you can do it that way. Or I could do it for you.
Yeah, I've done it in my character sheet.
Yep, I see it. Gotcha. Okay, so now on your character sheet, and there's 2 ways you can do this too.
Yeah.
Either on the character sheet, you can click on the acrobatics roll, or on that token action HUD thing, if you scroll over to skills, you'll see acrobatics there with an 11, and you can just click that and roll.
So would it be acrobatics or acrobatic dodge?
It would be acrobatics, because acrobatic dodge is for a different thing. Here, you're just trying to see if you can do that kind of cool flip up.
Yeah.
So give it a shot.
Hopping on your feet.
Did my crunches this week.
Oh, that was good.
Nice. All right, so you are standing. You have jumped up. That was your action. So
Wake me up.
you see this. You're gonna yell.
Yeah, you're gonna give it up. You know.
Or you're gonna do it all quietly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it loudly.
All right.
Oh, boy.
All right. You see this creature move in. Now, the green boxes with the black symbols on them, they indicate the maneuver. You don't have to set these. They're there basically to basically as a reminder to me what you've done. In the on that token action HUD, there is a set maneuver thing. There's a whole bunch of maneuvers, or you can do it from your character sheet, or there's a chat command that lets you do it. But you basically jumped up, and so your maneuver would be a ready. You basically just did kind of a ready. You jumped up. So this wolf-like thing kind of comes at you. I'll show you a picture. Here we go. You should be seeing a picture of this thing.
Oh, it looks nasty.
And the silhouette of the guy in the back is to give you an idea on its size.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. So he comes running in. That is his turn. And then that's his turn. Then Stan, you are up. What do you want to do? Well,
I'd like to wake up.
okay. So again, if you look on your on that token action HUD, the conditional modifier +6 on all IQ rolls to wake up and recover from surprise or mental stun is there. You could click that and then scroll back up and click your IQ, or you could do it on your character sheet. But I like that token action HUD. It's quick.
Yeah.
Oh, barely. All right.
Not good rolls. All right.
You are not asleep, but that was it. That was your action.
All right, made it back to.
Yeah. Okay. Then we got that, and we've got that. Now, you might be wondering why I don't have everything attack all at once. Well, there's no reason that it has to, and I'm trying to be nice to the players because this is their very first GURPS combat. And honestly, I wasn't certain how they were going to handle it. So I figured I'd have 2 of the Grim come in and attack maybe more aggressively, but the wolves themselves may stay back. We'll see how it goes. And Tillsdale, he is a complete and total idiot. Let's see if he can even wake up. Holy crap!
Let's go, Tillsdale.
He's just like, oh shit! So he wakes up. All right, Geralt, what do you want to do? You are standing up. There is a Grim 3 hexes away from you, and like I said, you don't if you don't have all the maneuvers down, tell me what you would like to do in real life, and I'll help you map it into a GURPS maneuver.
Well, I'd like to turn to face the Grim, and I guess, like, do I have my sword out? Do I need to draw my sword? Or
no, you need to draw your sword. Yeah, you need to ready your sword.
Yeah, I gotta ready my sword then, I think.
Okay. So that is a ready action. You're already, it's already showing a ready action. All right, this guy, he's, let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. He is going to come at you, and he is going to attempt to bite you. Let's see, does this work? Oh, so you should see on your chat log, it should say something like, the Game Master privately rolled some dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Okay, the very first attack in the very first combat. You notice I picked the move and attack modifier, which is a -4, but also maxes out at a 9, because NPCs don't get to use extra effort, at least not to start off with. And I held down the control key when I clicked on the character sheet. By the way, that character sheet is from the Nordland Bestiary. Hint, hint. I like, using the bestiary because all the monsters are already created for you. But in any case, any roll that I make that I don't want the players to see, I can hold down the control key when I click on it, and it'll switch it into private GM roll. And you can kind of see it in the chat log that it's a slight pink color instead of the gray color. That means it's private to me, and they don't get to see it. Now, some things I will let them see, but a lot of times starting off, I don't want them to know how skillful the monsters are. Maybe later I'll let them know after they've been fighting it for a while. It's not that big of a deal. But early on, there should be some mystery to it.
Sounds like it didn't go too well for us.
Only good things, I'm sure.
So he ran forward and oh no, yes, no, he made it. He was going for your arm. I had forgotten to add the -2 to hit the arm in the modifier bucket when I made the roll. But when I looked at the chat log, I made it by 2 anyway, so he would have hit regardless. And this points out something. Foundry is just a game aid. It's not playing the game for you. It's set up to do the math and help you with the math, but you could just click on those 3d6 dice there at the bottom and do the math in your head. But personally, I think it's more interesting and more informative, especially if you show all the modifiers in the log, so you can see the skill and then whatever modifiers affected and then the roll. But it's not necessary. So in this case, I forgot one modifier. I saw that it did actually hit, and I just went on with that. Roll a d6. 1, 2, 3. It's your left non-weapon arm, and it's your right arm.
Get the dodge.
Oh, you somehow you got a -1 for range. Do that again. But this time just right mouse click. All right. So it's your left arm that he's grabbed onto. Which is still kind of bad for you because you only know how to use your weapon two-handed. But let's see what kind of damage he might be able to do. All right. Yeah, you noticed it, right? Don't worry, I catch myself later. So he's going to do some damage to you unless you want to spend a story point.
I'll take the damage.
You'll take the damage. Okay, it's going to your left arm. And we will apply the injury. Now, normally somebody who gets bitten would take a shock damage because nobody likes, getting hurt. But since you both have high pain threshold, you are not affected by shock. But you took 3 points of damage, hit point damage to the left arm. And in the chat log, it shows you you took 3 points of damage. Subtract 1 for your armor on your left arm, but it's penetrating kind of damage, or the penetrating damage is 2, but because it's cutting damage, say versus crushing or piercing, then it's multiplied by 1.5, hence 3. This is one of the nice things about playing online in Foundry, because we have this whole damage calculator does all this math for us.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so now he grabs on, he leaps up, and you defend with your left arm. And dude, totally forgot. I didn't give you any defense. Just so excited. Right, so you have a couple of defenses. Right, you have 3 defenses. You have readied your sword, so you could parry him. You could dodge, or if you had a shield, you could block. See, I told you I'd catch myself. Now, so your sword parry is an 11, and your dodge is a 10. But once per combat turn, you can also do a retreating dodge, where you're taking a step backwards, or a retreating parry. So a retreating dodge gives you +3. A retreating parry gives you +1. So if you did that retreating dodge, you'd be at a 13 for a dodge and a 12 for a parry. So
yeah, I would like to do that. I would like to do the retreating dodge.
Okay, so a couple ways of doing it. You could, the easiest way is the token HUD. Under defenses, it has retreating dodge, and you can just click on that. See if you make it.
Got it.
Oh!
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, you took a step back, and he still hit you. Let me switch around. There you go. And he's grabbed on, he's bit onto you, and he starts to wrangle your arm. 2 things. Look at that bald head. Yeah, I kept looking down at the keyboard, and sorry about that. And 2, normally an attacker does not get an extra step after they've done a whole move and attack. However, the Grim had grabbed on to Geralt's arm. So as Geralt stepped back, I just made the on-the-fly decision that the Grim was drugged, moved with him. I don't know if that's GURPS rules, but that's how I played it tonight. So he is doing... Oh, he's going to do that.
What?
So what he is doing now is he's grappling you with his arm. And if you look on your character sheet, down left-hand side, control points, you are now grappled.
Yeah, I see.
And it has -4 to dex. That's actually a button that you can click. So anything you do that's dex-based is at a -4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Nope. It's not
I
great.
thought I was doing good. Got up with my dodge.
All right. So then this guy is going to come in here and look. And then Stan, you are awake. You're on the ground.
So I assume I go to bed with my knives, both knives on me, right?
Oh, yeah. Your knives.
Okay.
But I mean, you still have to draw them.
Yeah, okay, but I need to stand up and draw my knives. Can I do that if I do my acrobatics? Because I'm pretty good at acrobatics.
Same thing. Spend a fatigue point.
All right, fatigue point spent.
All right, and now just roll your acrobatics. We'll see if you can leap up. Oh yeah, easy. You are standing, but you that was your action. You can't pull out your knives.
Draw my knives in one motion.
Yeah. Okay. Now, oh, actually, hang on. Do you have?
I have quick draw. Fast draw knife.
Fast draw knife. All right, roll that.
Got it.
All right. Yeah. Roll it again at a -2. Oh yeah. All right. You quickly, you jump to the air, you leap up, and you.
I'm ready. All right.
You were
little slow to start, but I'm ready. I'm in the game now.
Okay, a couple things. Again, the acrobatics from prone to standing. Well, I already made that rule, and it's fun. The character's got to do something interesting, and great. If it's not in the basic set rules, tough. It's in my game now. And then, can you quick draw a knife while you're doing that? Well, quick draw is supposed to be like a 0-time action. Yeah, some people would say no, but I could tell my characters would like it. It would be fun. So I said, sure, go for it. Then could he pull a second one? Well, sure, it's supposed to be a 0-time action. I'll make it a little harder, just for the heck of it. I'm just making this stuff up on the fly. But if they think it's interesting, and they're having fun, then what's the big deal? I'm not trying to be a rules lawyer here. I'm trying to let them have fun. Okay. There. And let's see, that's the move. The posture move. And then there. And move. And then Tisdale, he's awake. He weirdly made it awake. So he's going to try to stand up. He's going to start kneeling. And I don't think he has much. No, he doesn't have anything. So there we go. Okay, top of the round. Geralt, what do you want to do?
All right, so this guy's on me. What do I? I've got my sword, but I can't swing it, right? Because I'm grappled.
Yeah. So he's at you. Normally, that might be in close, but his body's big enough that you could actually try to swing at him. You have your sword. It's just that you're at a -4, but you could try, smacking it down and cutting him. You could also just take your hand and try to punch him in the head or something to knock him off your arm. If you want, you could try to, swing around and throw him. Although that one, if he does leave your arm, it may go with a bit of flesh.
What about a Witcher's Blast? Witcher's Blast him off. Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
That might be risky.
Well, Witcher's Blast. Well, so all that really does, and you know this, you growing up as a kid, you had fun blowing shit over. You basically are directing your hands in a certain way, and a force shoots out and can knock things over. So, yeah, that might actually be pretty good. Now, it does cost a fatigue point to use because it's taking some of your, energy. But
Yeah. So my thing is he's got me on my left arm. I'm gonna get my right arm onto him and then do a Witcher's Blast and kind of like use that plus my momentum. So try and throw him off.
all right, so click on your Witcher's Blast. It'll probably ask you to pick a target. So you could do it under the melee attacks or on your character sheet or...
Witcher's Blast and then attack. I think.
Yep.
Target location. Oh, sick. Let's go.
All right, so let's see if he defends. He's attached to you, so I'm going to give him that. Again, not knowing the specific rules of how you dodge as a dog when you're biting somebody's arm, I just kind of on the fly picked a minus. I think it was -4. Yeah, it was a -4. And then just had him dodge. And if he made it, great. Then he wiggled out of the way while still holding onto the arm. Again, I didn't want to have to try to look up to see if there was a rule on this. I just made that up on the fly, and let's go. And where is... There it is. There's his dodge. Let's see. If he wiggles... So he's biting on your arm, and you take your right hand, and you blast him, and he tries to go out of the way, and no. Can't make it. So roll your Witcher's Blast damage. So you can either... Oh, there you go. Oh, some good numbers and some bad numbers.
Yeah.
So you can either do that from your character sheet, from the token action HUD, or if you look in the chat window at the bottom of the message where it said that you hit, it also has a damage, and there's a button that you could click there too. So there's a lot of different places you could click.
Nice.
All right, so let me see what happens to this. And, oh yeah, he gets blown back 2, and let's see what he does. I'll let you see this one. Oh, he makes it. All right, so he's still standing, but yes, he gets blown back 2 yards. And
he's no longer attached to your arm.
And he's no longer attached to your arm. You have successfully knocked him off. All right, looking back at this Witcher's attack, I might have done it slightly differently. I mean, how do you blow something off that's biting your arm? But I knew he, wanted to use the Witcher's Blast to do something cool with it. And I didn't think about ripping out some flesh. It probably should have. That would have been cool, a point or two. But instead, it knocked him back, and I said, great, we'll just have him knock him back, and that takes him off your arm. Maybe the surprise caused his jaws to open or something like that. But again, I might have caused him to take a little bit extra damage from that. Maybe next time. So I will clear all the control points on you because he no longer has you constrained. Oh, I actually didn't apply the control points for that, but it turns out you made your Witcher's Blast by 4, which was the minus you were at, so you still made it.
Oh wow!
All right. Witcher's Blast a dex roll? It's not for dex rolls.
Yeah, because what it is it's based on.
I have to move my hands.
Yeah, he's got to move his hands to direct it.
I see.
I'm encumbered.
Okay, so he is going to, let's see, is he stunned by this kind of behavior? No, okay, so, yeah, the guy who's active in combat, that guy right there, I'm giving the ping so you can see who it is. He shakes back, but he's a little, what's going on? Let's see, does he make this? Yeah, of course he fails that. What's he going to do? You know what? You're too tasty. You're too hard, so he's going to go here. No. And and go after Tisdale.
Not a Tisdale, no.
Oh,
yeah, we'll see if he can hit that. Oh yeah.
How many close relatives does Tisdale have? I'm trying to decide how much I want
you know,
Well, he's got a daughter in the city, and I think he's got a wife.
Damn.
But
we gotta say them.
you got a son-in-law. But yeah, so let's see. Can he dodge this one? I'm going to let him try to do a retreating dodge. Even though, you know what? He's going to dive. He's going to try to dive out of the way, which I will definitely let him do that. So that'll give him +3, but it'll put him back down to.
Oh, it says only against ranged attacks for dive, but on here.
Dodge and drop. Yeah, so the thing is, normally a retreating dodge, right? But you can just dive. Normally, that's the only kind of defense you can get from ranged attacks. But in this case, he's kneeling, and this dog comes at him, and he's just like, "Oh shit!" So he's going to try to dive, and we'll see if he can make it. Again, I don't know if I'm following actual GURPS rules here, but it seemed logical that if somebody was, kneeling, trying to get up, and somebody was jumping at him and about to bite him, that they could sort of jump out of the way or try to jump out of the way, which of course would leave them on the ground. And it seemed logical, so I did it. What the heck? It's my game. No. So he dives this way. He's down on the ground, and the dog is going to bite him. Let's see. Wow. Oh wow, that's cool. He got him set to do both. Okay. So he does that. I'll let you guys see that one. Apply injury. And he is not a guy. He doesn't like that stuff, so he's shocked. He took a rip. I'll let you in on a little secret. Tisdale, whatever his name is, he's a mook. I didn't have him set up for anything, so he didn't have any damage resistance. He didn't have any armor. So when I had to apply damage to him, in the apply damage calculator, I added 1 point of armor for that location, actually for all locations, and applied that. And then I wasn't really worried about whether or not he was going to be controlled, so I tried to apply that. It didn't work. I cut that part out. All right, so yes, this dog he kind of got pulled with Tisdale as he dove to the ground, and he's bit on his arm. It doesn't look like it's a really good bite, and he's trying to worry at it, but it's not doing too well. That's his attack. All right, so this guy is coming in. He's going to come here and Stan. He's attacking directly behind you, and let's see if he can hit. This is a move and attack. Bite. And nope, he comes running up and he takes a swipe at your ass, and you hear him.
I can't dodge because it's behind me?
You can, but he missed.
Oh, he missed.
So
okay.
He takes a swipe, but because moving and attacking is a difficult thing, normally you can't do both. So if you do the move and attack maneuver, then it's -4 to hit, and no matter what your number comes up with, it maxes out at 9. So you only have that 37.5% chance of actually doing it. Now, as player characters, you have a way of doing a heroic charge by spending a fatigue point, but NPCs normally don't do that. So,
well, he's 140 pounds. There's not much ass to swing at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. But they love
small target.
Gnawing bones. All right, Stan, it is your turn.
All right. I can't see the dog that came up, or the wolf that came up behind.
Oh, sure
me.
you can.
Is that?
Yeah. No, you can. You see him out of the
Oh,
corner.
I just mean that there's no token on my screen showing. I can only see the one
Oh, right.
in front of me.
My bad. There you go.
Okay, so I'm concerned most of all with my buddy here, Tillsdale. So I'm gonna ignore the one behind me, take a step forward, and
Oh,
can
really?
I attack with both knives on the wolf that's attacking Tillsdale?
Yeah.
Step and double attack.
Yeah, if you want to do that whole rapid strike thing that we had talked about last time. So what happened in our session 0, I was talking about a lot of the different combat maneuvers, including attacking with 2 weapons. Now, I'm kind of going with Douglas Cole's discussion about how dual weapon attack, I think that is, or dual attack as an option shouldn't be there. You should either use the all-out attack double or use the rapid strike modifier. So that's what I'm going to do. And I had originally put it on Pat's character sheet, and he saw that, and then I thought, no, this is the very first session. I'm going to take away those complex options. But my 2 nephews, they're pretty strong gamers, and they saw that and said, no, I want to do that stuff. So I actually, very quickly, I upgraded them from the basic list of maneuvers to the full list of maneuvers. They didn't need to even have that medium set of maneuvers, and they liked it.
What's the point of having 2 knives if I can't use them both?
All right, so there's a couple of ways you can do this.
Okay.
The first way is called a determined attack, and you can double attack. Now, if you do that, they're both at normal values, but until your next turn, you get no defenses.
That sounds scary.
Yeah, but it's sort of, it kind of depends. If you know nobody's been able to attack you, then you get, 2 free attacks.
Right.
Or if you want to maintain your ability to defend, then you can do the rapid strike. So each strike would be at a -6. Now let's see, your skill is 15, so that'd be a 9 or less, which is rough.
Maybe not good. Okay, so I'll just do a step and.
And the thing is, I actually took those out of your character sheet because I didn't think you'd be doing that this time around.
Probably smart. All right, I'm just gonna step and attack with my left arm because I'm ambidextrous.
Okay. All right. So
keep one knight up for defense in case it gets stuck in.
Okay. So move yourself.
Not even left-handed after.
All right.
Move yourself over there.
Okay.
Here we go. And then while you're over the top of your token, hold down the shift key and then roll the mouse wheel, and it'll change that blue triangle to let you point there. Yeah, so you basically kind of took a side step, and you're stabbing at the grim.
Right, and I will roll my knife skill.
Yep.
Got him. Let's go.
All right. So let's see. Now, you are attacking out of all the hexes. The front 3 hexes are the front. The next 2 hexes are considered the side, and then the back hex, of course, is the back. So since you're coming at him from the side, he has some minuses. It's a -2 from the side and a -4 from the back to try to defend. So we'll throw that in. Let's see, -2, and anything else? Yep, nope. Let's see if he makes that. Oh, he missed.
Oh.
So now roll some damage.
Large damage. Let's see. I assume I swung, so I will do 1d.
Oh,
Let's go.
nice. All right. Oh, wow. Oh, does it have? No, it doesn't. Okay.
Critical injury.
So, no, not quite. Yes, so you left-handed, you said.
Mhm.
So you swipe across the downside of this grim and you open up a big slice on its side and you could see it quivers. It's like, oh, son of a bitch! If it spoke English, of course. So you slap it pretty hard. And it lets out a yowl. Oh, I wish I had a sound effect for that. Oh!
That'll be in the next update.
Yep, exactly. And so let's see. It's gonna make. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, it's the same number, so that's all right. Oh, okay. You see another animal appear right here. And it looks like this. It's just a wolf.
Not quite so scary.
But look at the size. It's a big wolf.
Big boy.
It is a big wolf. But it's holding its ground at the moment. It's standing there. You know, it came up to the edge and it's looking at you funny. And
I have animal handling. So is that relevant?
Next round, you're going to go up and pet it, see if it.
You know.
All right, and then another one appears here. Again, this is me being a bit timid. I didn't really know how they would deal with all four wolves at once. And so I was like, well, maybe this wolf decides to back away. I'll roll willpower and see what happens with it. But that was really just me, the GM, kind of worried about them and how they would work. It's been a while since I had run a GURPS game, and I was kind of, well, like I said, timid. And then Tillsdale is on the ground with a sliced up grim on him, and he's going to reach back and try to just pummel this guy on the head to see if he can knock him off. Boom. So that, yes. So the dog, the grim was barely hanging on to Tillsdale's leg. It seemed like it got more cloth than it did flesh, and Tillsdale just kind of beats on its head, and so now he's free, but he's on the ground, and looks like he's bleeding a little bit. You're probably noticing a theme, right? I seem to forget rules now and then. I didn't make Tillsdale roll to hit. I just said, he's going to do damage, because, I mean, how hard is it to hit a dog attached to your leg? I guess I could have made a roll at a +4 or something like that, but whatever. I'm more interested in the story, and if I happen to miss a set of rules, oh well. All right, Geralt, what you doing?
All right, let's see. I think I want to move my guy here and then face this grim so I can get kind of back to back with Stan over here.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm gonna. Can I move that much and attack then?
So there's a couple options. If you look at that,
I'm looking at the maneuvers.
right. So let me pull the maneuvers up myself. So if you look at where it says regular attack, in the move column, it says you can take a step. However, if you look at your character sheet, you will see that your weapon, its range, its reach is 1,2. Because you have a big sword, you actually have the ability to swing out at 1 or 2. If you're stabbing with it, you only can stab at things at 2. It's so big you can't hit in close. Now that's one way, which is going to be the way I recommend. If you need to move more than 1 step,
the giant step. Yeah.
you can either do the giant step, or if you got to move like your full move, you want to move all 6, then you do the charge attack heroic charge, and you pay a fatigue point either way. But you're lucky you can take 1 step and just do a big swing. So
I'll do.
If your target marker is still on the other Grim, you can move your mouse over the Grim you're thinking about and just hit the letter T, and it will put the target marker there.
Yeah. Yeah,
all right.
Got it.
Good. Go for it. Now, this is something that Ripper's target module or smart combat module does that I didn't know about. I didn't notice it until later. But if you look on top of the Grim, you'll see a little green circle, and that means that the green player, which is Geralt, has targeted them. So as the GM, I can see who everybody's targeting. I really wish I knew that a couple of sessions from now.
Two-handed swing. Here we go.
All right. So it is going to try to dodge that. It sees this big swing coming. And, oh, it fails. It dodges right into your swing.
Oh, ready for some damage?
Roll some damage. Nice.
Let's go.
Nice. All right. Oh. Okay, so here's a bit more of me ignoring the rules. I was checking to see if it had high pain threshold, and it didn't. And I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with the shock, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then the damage calculator did say that it was going to be a major wound, which is another kind of health roll, but I didn't want to spend the time looking up. Trust me, for the next session, I believe I do look it up finally, or maybe not. I don't know. And so I was rolling health rolls. There's some health check being involved. I may not be doing exactly the ones you're supposed to do for GURPS, but close enough. And actually, I lied. I still haven't completely read up on the health rolls for combat, but we're having fun. This is gonna hurt. Yeah. Oh, you can see the heart symbol over it. It's definitely.
Just for some RP flavor reference, that was more of a Happy Gilmore style with a 1 step into a full golf swing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what that was.
And he just like looked at you, took a step left, right into your forehand, and you slayed him one. All right, let's see if he does this. Oh yeah. So he took this. You sliced him all the way across his torso, and I mean you're seeing internal parts. But it's still standing. So, all right. But it lets out this unghastly howl, and yes, the next version I'm going to have a ghastly howl because this thing can do sounds pretty well. So let's see if 1, 2, okay, 3, 4. Health. Let's see if he... Oh, yeah. He's pissed. And he is going to... he's going to leap at you. Full bound. He's going to jump in here. And there's not much left. Oh, he took that hit, so he is big time shocked. Okay. So, he's going to do that. And he's going to try to bite you straight. He's going for the arm. Right. And let's see if he can hit. I'll let you see the values for that one. Nope.
Miss.
Nope. He's all shocked from taking the hit, and he's trying to get your arm because he knows that. And he misses. All right, Stan, what you doing?
Stan is gonna is going to take out my right hand knife and do a mighty blow with the stabbing, a thrust into this grim right in front of me.
All right. So
Spend a fatigue point.
So don't do that yet. So do the hit first. So mighty blow just gives you added damage. So let's see if you hit first.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a thrust.
Nice.
Nice.
Again, he's from behind, and that's okay. So he will try that. Oh no, fails. He's hurting. He's trying to move, but he's limping and he can't dodge out of your way.
Let's get him.
All right, so now if you go down to that red square and that modifier bucket pops up, there is a under melee attack. The first thing under extra effort says +2 damage, mighty blow, costs 1 fatigue. So if you click on that, which adds it into your modifier bucket, and then you roll the damage, it will automatically spend the fatigue point for you, so you don't have to go do that. Again, I don't think that's rules as written. When you're making an attack, you pay the fatigue point for a mighty blow, even if you miss. But starting off, I was being kind of nice to them. I think in later sessions, I say, no, just apply it all up front. Let's know what you're doing. And if you miss, well, then you swung really hard and you missed.
Okay. Oh, let's go.
Not bad, not bad. Let me apply all to Grim. And, oh, yeah, here, you slam into him. Oh, you stab this time, huh? So impaling. So the nice thing about impaling is whatever gets past the armor is multiplied by 2. In general, if you target the guts or the groin of a creature, or what we call the vitals, which is a -3 to hit, if you do that, then impaling damage is ×3. So stabbing people in the gut is very effective if you can get past their armor. So he sort of has vitals, but yeah, let's see if he's even surviving this. Oh, yeah, okay. He's
hurting.
He's trying hard. Good move, stand. This wolf is the one who... I should have just set those guys up. Let's see. One made it. Yep. Okay. So he is doing that. He has decided that one of his friends is coming in, and he is coming after you, Geralt. This big old bite. Let's see if he can hit with that. Nope.
Yes.
Again, comes charging in, but the movement just makes it impossible for him to get a good grasp of your ass. And he whiffs. Now this one, he decides that he's slinking away. So here I'm applying 2 rules of beginning GMing. One is let your players have an easy win. And 2, not every opponent needs to fight to the death. I mean, they can be smart. They can run away. And that's what I'm doing here. And Tillsdale, he bumped this guy off of him. He looks pretty bad, but he's scared shitless, I think. Let's see, what has he got here? We'll do the fright check. Now, those aren't the complete rules for fright check. It's basically the same as will, but I wanted it to show up in the chat log as a fright check, so they, could see what would happen. Nope.
Oh.
He's just completely scared, so he is just crawling away, trying to get away. He's just, oh, son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Get it off me! Get it off me! All right, Geralt. There's these two Grim are in front of you, and they both have, well, one is completely sliced. The one right in front of you is completely sliced all the way down. Like, if you could make pork ribs out of it, you could. This one has got a slice and a kind of a gash. Actually, I think Stan's hand is still halfway in his chest. So he's just sitting there with his knife in there, and he's wiggling it around on the inside. And then there's this extremely large wolf that has come up right in front of you and tried to take a bite at your arm.
Yeah. So I'd like to do a thrust attack. Or should I just swing? I think they're probably about the same.
You should, yeah, you should swing.
Yeah.
The damage, so Bastard Sword doesn't really do thrusting very well.
Yeah.
It's crushing damage. It's not as, if you look, it's only 1d plus 2.
Yeah.
And I assume you guys have figured this out. GURPS is only 6-sided dice, so when it says 1d, that's 1d6, 2d6, that kind of stuff. Also, though, your thrusting, the reach is 2. Only 2. Which means you can poke things 2 away. You can't hit up close. The only thing that you can do up close is your Witcher's Blast. You could kick him, or, yes, your Bastard Sword swing, which is probably your best bet.
Right, so I'm just trying to figure this out. The swing can also hit 2. Why would I ever thrust something just for RP purposes?
Yeah, exactly. Now, so I will tell you this. There are some things that, aren't really affected by cutting as much.
Yeah, okay.
Like, not that you've ever fought skeletons, foreshadow much, but you might actually do better damage against something that's made of hollow bones by sort of crushing it. But yeah, for the most part, it's just for role-playing, in this case.
And
you might find a different weapon that does better. Who knows?
Yeah, try to finish off the Grim I've already been working on.
So I will tell you, rolling a 3 or 4 is a critical hit. If your skill is 15, then rolling a 3, 4, or 5 is a critical hit. And if your skill is 16, rolling a 3 through 6 is a critical hit. You can't get any better than that, though. So you are 1 point away from making a critical hit with that. But that's still pretty damn good. All right, we'll see if the wolf can dodge. Oh, yeah. So you have this fantastic swing, but this very fresh and nimble, tall wolf is just like, no, and dodges out of the way. All right, this Grim there, let's see. Doop. How's he doing? Hanging by a thread. He's let's see if he has the will to do it. No, he's running away. He's whimpering. Sorry, he's whimpering the whole way. So here, I just wanted to see if the Grim had the willpower to stick around in combat, and I just applied a -1 to it because that was the health modifier roll, -1, because at below below 0 hit points. I don't know if there's any rules for that. I was just using that to guide my decision as to whether I wanted that creature to stay in combat or not. So that was a move. Yeah, that's already what he said. All right, and this Grim right in front of you, he's also in the same boat. Let's see if he makes his health roll. Oh no. So he's angered because you've slid him down the side, and he's like, he jumped at you last time, and it looks like he's gathering the anger to go at you one more time, and you see something burst on the inside and starts spurting out blood, and it just collapses to the ground. It has deed right in front of you. All right, Stan.
All right, so there's that guy's dead. I'm going to, I guess, do a charge attack, a heroic charge, and
On
I'm
who?
going on the wolf, the regular wolf.
Right
I'm
here.
gonna.
So you're
I'm
only okay. So you're only 2 steps away.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could step into the hex where that dead Grim is.
Oh, okay.
It's this body. Now, hexes are 1 meter across, right? So, there's some space. What I will do is, if you step over it, you'll get a -2 to your attack because you're unsure footing. Or you,
I'll do the heroic charge, and
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the back. So I'm gonna go to here.
Now, so here's the deal. So you've moved 1, 2, 3 hexes. You have a move of 6. Each facing that you turn costs a movement point. So I will do it just to show you. So that would be 1. Oh, I got too many people selected. And then that would be 1. So that used up 5 of your movement points. You had 6. So that was perfect.
Oh, all right.
All right. So yeah, you're right behind it.
And then I'm gonna do another stabbing to the vitals this time.
Okay. Do me a favor. Roll naturalist. Let's see how well you pass or fail this one.
Well, let's see. Camouflage. Where is animal? Oh, naturalist. All right.
Okay. You missed it,
failure.
but only by 2. So, you have a pretty good idea of where the vitals are specifically for a wolf. Now, this is one of those situations where I didn't really have a modifier in mind. I just wanted to see what he rolled. And if it was really bad, I'd be like, yeah, sorry, you're not really, sure where to stab this wolf to get the vitals benefit. But since he didn't fail it by a huge amount, then I was like, fine, we'll let it go. So even though the roll failed, he still gets to do what he was looking for, and he didn't need to know what the modifier was for this, and I didn't even need to know what the modifier was. So go for it. So
right.
Now to do that, on your character sheet, in the hit locations, there is groin or vitals, -3, either one. So you click on that to get a -3, and then you do your attack. Now, you could do, the determined attack double and do it twice, but then you get no defenses until your next turn.
Okay, you're right. I will do that.
If there's somebody to defend against.
I'll take the risk. No defenses.
Okay.
So I'll use both attacks. So they're both. So I'm going for the vitals. So that's -3, and the other one doesn't have a penalty.
No, they both have -3 because you're basically both hands. You're going stab.
Yeah, stab. All right.
So do one and see if it hits.
We'll do a thrust for 1.
Yep. All right. Now, in the chat window,
Nice.
it shows -3 to hit, and it shows M large knife thrust. So you could just click that -3 to hit that's in the chat window. It will reapply that. And then you could click the M large knife thrust that's in the chat window, so you don't have to reopen anything. Boom.
Success.
Twice. Okay, so he sees this coming. It's from behind, but he's going to try to retreat away from you. Let us see if he can make it. Oh no. Oh no. So as he's jumping away to try to get away from you, he fails horribly. So do some damage.
2.
All right, so that's 1. And that's to the vitals. Alrighty, and we will apply. All right, do another one. So if you saw there, I applied the damage to the wolf publicly and not quietly because it's the end of the combat and I wanted them to see what they're doing. Oh, man. And we will apply. Boom. Oh, yeah. You gutted him completely. But guess what? He's still standing. And yes, I forgot to roll the dodge for the second defense. But hey, the players are having fun.
So the second one didn't go to the vitals. You said torso.
Ah, you're right. So that would be, well, you know what? I can put the 8 back on. Let me do that. Let's see, what's the best way to do that? I'll say /HP plus 8. Boom. And then I will reapply that and pick vitals. Oh, better. Happier?
Much better.
Yes. And yes, now we'll see. Yeah, well, he's stabbed, but he's still standing. All right, this wolf, let's see if he will do that. Yep. And will he do that? Oh, no. No. He took the 2 in the guts, and he gives you that poor wimpy dog's look, like, why did you do this to me? And he starts running.
Okay.
Oh, we can't go that far.
Let him run.
Yeah. You can see the drag ruler module really well here because the hexes that are in green are the ones you're allowed to move to, and then the yellow is if you're sprinting, and then red you're not supposed to be able to do at all. And because they are reeling or fatigued, their move is halved. So you can start to see that the green is a little smaller. Now, it doesn't stop you from moving that full distance. If you really want to move that distance, you can. But you'll notice there in the combat, I like stretched it way out and go, oh, no, we can't move that far, and had to move it back. Oh, we haven't had a lot of room to show it all out, but every time people take damage, it splatters blood on the map. That's why there's all that red down there. All right, so that guy, he's out, and Tillsdale, let's see if he can get out of his thing.
Stand up.
Oh yeah, he's trying. He's like, okay, he gets up on his knees. He starts kneeling. Geralt, it is you. There's, let's see, can I just get out? So that guy's gone. Basically, all you see are these 2 wounded animals running off to the right. What do you want to do?
Muted. Jeff, you're muted.
All right, I'm going to, I guess, just ready my weapon. I'm not going to pursue the animals that are running. It's against my sense of duty, code of honor.
Okay. All right. So you will just ready. You'll probably face them. I'll move you that way. And this Grim, yeah, he's hurting bad. He's running. Stan, what are you doing?
I will also ready my weapons and point towards the retreating wolves.
All right, yeah. So he's running away. Tillsdale, he stands up. Phew.
Welcome back.
And Geralt, back up to you.
I guess wait and I don't know, just
so actually that's a good point. So one of the maneuvers you can take is a wait. And you would say if this happens, I'll do this. So pretty standard one is, if something moves in within range, I want to do a regular attack at it, or I want to do an all-attack double, or something along those lines. And until your next turn, you're basically sitting on that wait. Now, if that trigger doesn't ever occur, then you've lost your action. But this is a good thing. You could say, I'm going to perform the wait, and... oh, that's the wrong guy. And the wait action is if, you know, something comes into range, you swing at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
All right.
I'm going to perform the wait.
Oh,
you already have.
Yeah, did that. Alrighty. So, boom. We are out of combat.
Let's go.
And like I said, we have some bugs with that stupid indicator, but...
All right, I'm going to go up to Tisdale. Make sure he's okay.
He's hurt a little bit. Oh, let's see what he took, like a scratch.
Yeah.
So you can first aid him. This takes a couple of minutes, but you can try to first aid him.
I have first aid.
You both
skill.
do. Yeah, you both
Jeff,
do.
Jeff, how's your arm looking? Do you need some first aid? Or I guess you have it. You can do it yourself.
I lost 3 points. I don't
Well,
know.
if you do it to yourself,
you're probably at disadvantage.
I give a little bit of a minus because of that. So yeah. So
why don't you do me and I'll do Tisdale?
Okay,
first aid train.
First aid train. All right.
Facts scratching.
All right.
So let's see. Any modifiers?
No, just roll your first aid skill. See if you succeed.
Hard one. Oh, what a roll.
Okay. And Stan, who are you doing it against? Geralt?
Geralt.
Okay, so on your character sheet, under first aid, there's 2 yellow buttons. One is heal self, I think.
Apply to target.
Yeah, apply to target. So target Geralt. So mouse over him and hit T, and then press that heal target. And this is an example of the on-the-fly formula system that we have in our GURPS Game Aid. If you play a game like Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons, then you pretty much know the effects of spells and things like that. But in GURPS, you have no idea. You have no idea what the game designer has built for their particular game. So what we have provided is a way for you to build action buttons on your character sheet without having to know how to program. And if you look at these two, the first one builds a button that says apply to me, and it executes the chat command HP/HP, which adds 1d minus 3 with a minimum of 1, that's what the exclamation point does, to yourself. The second one, apply to target, does the same command, but it adds the target command, so this will actually send a message to the owner of the target and say, do you want to accept this? It's a way to be healed. There's a huge list of on-the-fly commands and chat commands in the user's guide, and you can build some really cool things for your characters.
Yep, send command, HP, 1d minus 3 to Geralt.
So Geralt, what should have happened is a dialogue should have popped up on your screen saying, do you accept /HP plus whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason is, Pat, you don't own Geralt, so you can't make changes to his character and vice versa. And so what it did is that we programmed a little handoff. You rolled something and it sent it to him and he could accept it. He could also ignore it. All right, so Jeff, you're doing the same thing. Geralt's going to do Tilsdale, right? So target Tilsdale and, if you got to make your roll, right?
Well, I tried to do it. It might have had a error or something.
Oh, so you got to make the skill roll first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. Oh, this.
So just first aid. Perfect. Now, yeah, it looks like you did heal yourself up, but that's fine. Now, target Tilsdale, just T over it.
Oh, okay.
And then either from the token action HUD, under skills, the first aid, it does have you can see apply to target there, or you can do it on your character sheet. But that apply to target.
Yep.
There we go. All right. So which one came from Geralt? Rolled a 2. It's 1. So he heals back 1. Turns out he was only down 1 anyway. So
Nice.
well,
I'm
perfect.
fully healed as well.
Yep. I think
Thanks.
you accidentally healed yourself a few times, but that's okay.
Oh.
Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't turn into a softie. Keeping track of fatigue points and hit points is pretty important in GURPS. But this is their very first night, and of course the controls are new to them. So I didn't mind that he healed himself back up. But trust me, in future sessions, this doesn't happen. So it's the middle of the night, and there's a dead dog carcass lying right there. It's actually not really a dog. It's it's a grim. It looks kind of beat up.
Stan's got some wildlife knowledge, right?
I'm gonna. Yeah, can I do my naturalists again to see if I can figure anything out about where these guys came from?
You can try.
Let's see. 8.
Oh. Yeah, you missed by 2. So let me. You've got some knowledge about them. Hang on a second while my PDF loads. Again, this is a situation where he failed the roll, but not by much. So I was reading through the entry in Douglas's Nordland Bestiary, and I figured I'd give him a few pieces of information. It's not a binary, you know everything or you know nothing. It's a scale. So he missed it. He missed the roll, and I gave him a few pieces of information. That's all. Yeah. You noticed the glowing eyes, which are no longer glowing. Yeah, it roams wild lands and lonely stretches of road at night.
It's pretty normal to see something like this around.
Yeah, they are found with fairy creatures sometimes, but you haven't detected any of those.
Okay.
And you do know they're not inherently evil or even savage usually, but when they're hungry, they might try to eat something.
Yeah.
So they're just hungry, I guess. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Anything else? I mean, there's this dead carcass lying right here. You're just gonna.
Yeah, maybe we should drag that off a bit. Is there somewhere downwind we can put that?
All right. I'll say you throw it behind the rock or something over this way. You don't really see anything else.
Well, we're gonna make Tisdale stay up the rest of the night. Hopefully he won't fall asleep. Saving his ass. So
Should
be able to sleep for a while.
All right.
He's wide awake now.
Okay, so the night passes, and everybody's back to full.
Fatigue.
Let's see, reset. Let me fire that off. There we go. Everybody's back to full fatigue, which I just did with a chat command. You don't have to do anything. As I mentioned, we have an extensive chat command library, and here I just executed /everybody fatigue reset. And then I didn't have to go to the character sheets, and that goes to any player character and resets their fatigue. Trust me, there's a lot of things you can do. And you still have a couple more days of travel. So we get back into the same routine. Oops. Now here I'm going to use one of the features of Foundry. I'm going to view the next scene. So you can see on the top left, they're still at the campsite. Their little colored icons are showing at the campsite. But I'm trying to look at my transition scene. Unfortunately, it's showing this stupid bug with the maneuvers still on there. And we have fixed that. That's not in the future. But I try to fix it, and it gets in the way.
Back on the road.
There we go.
I'm mumbling to myself as we're all on the road, because that's my thing.
I'm going to delete those and see if it makes a difference. Yeah, so I need you to... no, it's still showing up. I need you to roll your survival. skills. Let's see. Boom. Oh, perfect. Both made it. No problems. And Jeff, roll me a d6. Right mouse click on those little 3 guys down there. All right, good deal. And you make it through the night. Same thing. One more night. Let's roll your survival woodlands. Or survival forest, or whatever you got. Oh, wow. You are cranking. You are doing great. All right.
Thanks, guys.
You have completed the journey. You make it to the town, and let's see. Gotta figure why that's doing that. You've made it to the town, and Tilsdale's like, "Oh, hey, thank you very much." He gives you a chit, little square metal. Looks like a coin, but it's square with a little square cut out in the middle, and it's got some kind of script written around the outside, kind of worn down. He said, take it to that tavern right there, and they'll set you up with a meal and a room for the night, and I'll come by in the morning with the remainder of your payment.
Okay.
Sounds good. A little lucky all at once.
Sounds good. Yeah. We're not getting scammed. But
Well, you've got like I said, you already got the 200, and you've known Tilsdale. I mean, you've seen him.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and we went through a lot together.
You did, and you didn't get messed up. That part's kind of nice.
We only saw him pee his pants once.
Yeah, that part was kind of funny. Okay, so what do you want to do? He points you to this tavern.
Well, we're cold and tired, and let's take a load off and drink a mead.
All right.
An ale.
Have an ale.
An ale.
Meads are for ladies.
Right.
You come in down here. Hang on a second. Let me get you down here. And is that the right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, a few things about this scene. First, after I dropped the character tokens off, I held down the shift key and a long press on the left mouse button. And what that did was a ping and moved all the client's screens so they were at this location where that blue V symbol is. Secondly, of course, you're seeing the GM screen, so you're seeing things that I see they don't see. And that gray square there is a monk's active tile, another very cool module. They can't see it, but if they moved their characters onto it, it would drop them into the basement, because what they see there is a little cellar door. Also, you'll notice a couple other modules running. One is NPC chatter. Every so often, the little tokens up there will blurt out a little piece of text. I have a big random table of things that they would say, and I use the NPC chatter thing to just have it pop up. For flavor, I wanted it to make it look cool. And the last one, and the one I use a lot, is the patrol. You'll see that the waitress and the bartender are just moving around the scene on their own, which I think is kind of cool. So you come in there, and we do that. We have that.
Oh, nice.
And yeah. There seems to only be that one table. Don't mind that hooded figure. That's actually the next character that's coming in. I just have his token invisible so that I didn't have to drag it in.
Well,
let's just take a seat at our table.
All right.
I don't like to sit with my back facing the wall, so I'll sit
The
door.
entrance.
Nice, nice. It's a pretty big tavern. It's way bigger than anything that you had in Lower Gralt, and it's filled with townspeople. You can hear them chatting. You can see the bartender's behind the bar right now. He's doing some movement, and the one waitress way up top, she's running around with drinks and a plate of food, trying to feed everybody. So let me pull up my story information here. Okay. Originally, I had worded it, "You finish your uneventful escort duty." So here's what I want you to do. I need you to roll a perception roll, but I need it to be blind. And again, there's a couple ways we can do this. If you go to the token action HUD under attributes, perception to the right, there's blind perception. And what that'll do is it will roll it and show me the result, but not you.
Blind perception. Got it.
Okay. As you're sitting down, and Geralt, like you said, you don't like have your back to the door. You notice there is another door up to the top of the bar, and next to it, at this table, you see what looks like 3 city guards. They all have. They're not wearing them at the moment. Show you. There's one of them. There's 2 of them, and then there's 3 of them. So I should have sent you three pictures. All right. But you see their tabards kind of hanging over the chairs, and Stan, you really notice that these tabards are just dirty, and it's from just grime and spilled food and wine. They don't seem to be torn or anything like that. They're just gross.
Washed. Right.
Yeah.
Roadie. Interesting.
Keep dropping that.
So,
So,
what if I want to go up to the bar, talk to the bartender, maybe?
Well, actually, the bartender, he sees you and he comes over, and he's like, what do you guys need? What can I get you something?
got some food,
We'll have
some hot food.
2 ales, sir, and whatever's hot that you got.
Okay,
Ready.
that's gonna be it's gonna be like a silver piece.
Well, we've just had a major financial windfall.
Don't say that too loudly. I mean, we don't want to get robbed.
Each of you make an IQ roll.
All right. Well, let's see.
Yeah, you both made it. You remember Tilsdale told you, give this guy his chit. He gave you that square chit.
Oh yeah. We have a chit. We know Tilsdale. He sent us here.
Oh, right. Yes. Oh, no. Perfect. Yeah, I'll get you all set right up. Hang on a second. He runs over to the bar and grabs a couple of ales that were sitting out, brings them back to you, and gives you. I'll bring the food right out.
Thanks.
So
bud.
he starts heading over that way. The waitress comes by. She's got a small plate of. It's not a full sandwich, like little small bite-sized sandwiches. And she's like, "Here you go. Here, I understand you got the full meal deal."
Oh yeah, that's us.
Yep, the value menu.
Appreciate you.
No. I was my dad gave me the sign. You get the full thing. We're giving you all the courses, all 2 of them.
All right.
Hey.
So, living large.
All right. So the bartender goes into the kitchen and he disappears from view for a bit. And then he comes back. Oops. No, don't want to do that. There we go. Let's see if it'll let me. Yeah. Ignore the fact that he's flying over the top of the... Yeah. So he drops down a couple of plates for you. And there you go. All you can eat. You just let me know.
Right.
Thanks. Hey, before you go, I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah.
that table of those city guards over there. They look like they're looking for some trouble. You know anything about that?
Well, they're slobs, but they're not looking for trouble. I think they just got off work. You
Well,
know.
I think they might have found it.
Yeah,
No,
you know anything about?
your
Oh my
trouble?
God. No, no,
Oh
no,
shit!
no.
I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good joke. Yeah. I mean, they come in
And
and
you,
they drink a little bit after their shift, and then then they go home. Ever since the count took over,
things.
we got a bunch of these guys, but they try to keep the peace. They don't usually screw up in here because otherwise I'll stop serving them. So,
But things in the town been a lot different since the count took over.
oh yeah, the the it was much nicer when it was being run by the magistrate. He looked out for us. This count, he's never here, and sometimes the guards aren't the best, but they don't screw with me too much because I run the biggest tavern around. So this is right out of the Matthew Colville's book on how to be a DM. Don't dump a lot of lore on your players. Instead, have it come out as part of the game. In this case, the bartender mentioned something about the count, and it goes from there.
Hey, what's the name of this tavern? I didn't see a sign on the outside. I'm just curious.
Hang on a second. It is the Wicket Inn. Another hint from Matthew Colville. Always have names. Even if your NPCs aren't pre-named, have a list of names written down someplace. What I did was I took Gary Gygax's Extraordinary Book of Names and created a bunch of huge lists. And then, because I'm a programmer, I programmed a little random macro. So anytime I need a male or female name, I just click that macro button and it writes it out to the chat log to me. And so I clicked it, and that's how I got the name of the tavern.
Think about rebranding that.
Are you whispering that, or did you tell him that?
I told him that we're gonna brainstorm some new names over some ale here.
Hey, sure. I'm okay with that. Let's see. Oh yeah. Whatever floats your boat. Okay. So
you're gonna get spit in our food. Come on.
So he starts. Actually, he brings the food over. He starts walking away, and this guy comes in to the tavern, and he looks like that.
Strider.
And he, as the bartender was walking away, let's see, he turns around and he starts to head for your table, and he says, "So what do you have, mate?" And he stops, and he starts to get a little nervous, and he's like, "You can't be here. I can't serve you. You must go." And the cloaked figure looks at him and says, "I just wanted a meal and an ale before I left. But I understand, my friend." And the bartender kind of looks at him and, where did he go? I hate it. He keeps running away. Quit running away. The bartender looks at him and his face softens, and he's like, "Okay, one last time." And he runs off to the kitchen. Now, so the cloaked figure, he kind of he sits down at your table. It's one of the few tables open. It's closest to the door. And he kind of lowers his head and closes his eyes. Now, in the chat log, I put a button that says, please, both of you, click on it. So I got stands waiting for
Okay. Wait,
Geralt.
so
Click the yellow.
yeah, it says must have a character selected.
Oh, so somehow, so you're currently not selected. You normally so click on Geralt and then go click on it.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Well, Geralt, you have no idea who this is, but Stan,
Figure it out.
you've seen him, and this is the magistrate.
I knew it.
And this is another example of the on-the-fly system for the GURPS game made for Foundry. In that journal, I just typed in this text, which then created this button on the fly. And then as we were playing, I just dragged the button, dragged, whatever, I never know that one, that button to the chat log and dropped it there, and it showed up. And so the players then could click on it. And it was set up to be a blind roll of IQ -4, but I didn't want them to know what they were rolling for. So the label just says, he had visited Lower Geralt once a long time ago, and you were, following from the outside. You were kind of interested in what his group of people were doing, and you recognize him. He's the magistrate.
All right. So
and Stan uses the sign language we developed over the last 5 days to tell me this.
Okay, both of you roll IQs.
Okay.
All right, so Geralt, what Stan tells you is he gives you the sign language, and he signs, "I want to have that man's baby."
Okay.
So, do you want to do anything with that? To start off with, GURPS does have a gesture skill, but I didn't want to look it up to try to find out what their defaults were, because I know neither of these characters had it. You can also have sign language advantages as a language, but they didn't have that. But I instantly jumped on it because I wanted the players to have fun. So I just said, make an IQ roll and we'll see what happens. It was actually pretty easy because Stan failed it horribly, so I was allowed to make that joke. And it's not a major plot point. Now, going forward, if the players want to incorporate gestures or sign language into their routine, then I'm going to say, look, you need to spend character points to either buy the gesture skill or start buying up some sign language advantages. But for now, we just had fun with it.
all right, I'm gonna go. Hey, what's up? Like, try to get this guy to look at us and say, are you the magistrate? What's going on?
And he looks up at you and he slowly nods his head and then brings his finger up just
I'm being
over
quiet.
his lips.
Keep on the deal.
Yeah.
All right. So
And he looks and he's like, I just wanted one last meal.
And ask him where he's going, Pat.
Well, I mean, Geralt, you hear this too. He says,
Oh, okay. Well,
it's just that when Stan tried to sign language to you, he failed it. So you
Yeah,
only had a
well,
few
I'm
days
just
of
like-
learning this new language you've generated, and he screwed it up horribly.
yeah. I'm letting Stan lead the interaction here.
Well, actually, so that's a good thing. So do me a favor, Stan. You have a +1 modifier from explorers and nature lovers because you're an outdoorsman. So on your character sheet or on the token HUD under attributes, it has reaction +1 from explorers and native lovers. Do you see it? At this point, Pat's computer had locked up. So we get that all figured out, and he doesn't have video at first, but we rejoin the action.
All right, so I am doing a +1 roll because of my Explorers and Nature Lovers modifier.
All right, so what you're going to do is we're going to roll a reaction. And so add that +1 to your modifier bucket. So just click on it, and then just hit the 3d6 roll. And we're gonna see.
Well,
So this is the first time I'm using a roll table in Foundry, and I found out you can't import player's roll. That you just have to roll it on the roll table. So I rolled it myself. It didn't score as well, but that's okay. And I set it up to be a private roll so nobody else could see what it said. The NPC is not is unimpressed.
what? A 12?
He's like he looks at you, and he looks at both of you, and he kind of conspiratorially is like, okay, you know the Count took over he's been taking over all these towns. Yes, no, you've heard of this?
Yeah. We heard from the bartender here. You know, he's talking about things haven't been so great around here since the Count took over.
Yeah, well, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
And the Count has been he's been trying to claim ancient rights of the landowner over newlyweds at a wedding, and that's barbaric, and I wouldn't let him. And he came in with this massive guard and trumped up some charges on me and had me ousted. So I packed up all my stuff, and I've been hiding out at a friend's house, and I just wanted to come here one last time for I was trying to scroll back through the chat log to see what the random name was that was generated, but I couldn't find it, and I didn't want to waste any more time, so I just reached in and I pulled out the name of one of my other nephews. So here's to you, Jeremy. Jeremy Wickett. And I love his food. So I wonder what last time.
Well, I mean, we're just new in town here. We're from Lower Gralt, but we'd be happy to help in any way.
Okay, at that moment, you hear a commotion, and from across the room, you hear, "That's fucking him! I tell you, it's him!"
Oh no!
Shit.
And you see this guard stand up, and he's looking over that way, and then the second guy stands up, and he points over to you, and he said, no, the second guy says, "The warrant says the magistrate and accomplices." And the third guy stands up and says, "Those three over there, right?" And the second man's like, "Yeah, wanted dead or alive." And the first man who yelled, he's like, "And I prefer dead." Okay, some more Foundry wizardry. I've set up some Monk's active tiles here. They're invisible to the players, but if I click on them as the GM, they'll do a bunch of stuff for me. In this one, I'm going to click on the sword, and that will turn off the NPC chatter and change the playlist from the tavern noises to a battle sounds. And this is written in JavaScript. Foundry is in JavaScript, but if you're brave enough, you can do some really cool things.
Thanks. Sounds like we're in combat again.
And so hang on a second. Let me flip into combat.
Oh shit.
And boom. So now we will check out initiatives. There we go. So if you have the tracker window open, you can see you can see who's first. And Geralt, you're first. Anything before combat begins?
Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this ale and I'm gonna finish off the rest of it because I don't want to waste any.
Good man. Good man. Do me a
I'm
favor.
gonna slam it down on the table. Say, God damn it!
I like that.
Perfect.
Just when we got our ale.
All right. So you do that. You God damn it! And now what would you like to do?
Well, I guess I'm gonna start charging towards them.
Yeah. So
No,
in this case, you can
There's
all.
three of 'em.
They're pretty far away, and you can all stand up and have whatever weapons you want ready,
Oh, good.
because that's what they've done. Is they've stood up,
Just-
and
Let's-
one
I've got
guy has a big two-handed mace, and the other guys they look like they've got short sword and shields. They're still working their shields, but they do have medium shields that they're picking up from behind the tables. So, Geralt, what do you want to do?
So I've got my bastard sword out and readied.
Yep.
And I'm going to just
I mean, maybe we want to let them come to us. You know. You want to be charging in one versus 3?
yeah, I can take these guys, man. I'm a monster.
All right.
I mean, I have a bow. I can shoot from over here.
Oh yeah, I don't have any ranged weapons, so
Yeah.
got
So
this.
actually,
You don't have to charge right
Stan,
now.
you do have a couple of seconds here before this really starts. So, when you're getting up, did you pull your bow? Did you grab your quarterstaff, or did you whip out your knives?
Let's grab my bow here.
Okay.
Seems like a good.
Okay. So now the way bows work is it normally takes 3 rounds to fire. So you're pulling the arrow out for 1 round, you're knocking it for the 2nd round, and you're shooting on the 3rd.
Like quick draw.
But if you can do your fast draw arrow, you get rid of 1 of those rounds. So you basically pull and knock in the same. Now, there are range minuses to hit. So right now, your longbow is a 15 to hit. But if you say you can hold down shift... No, sorry. You can hold down the control, right. And you can see in parentheses, there's a -6 or -7 to hit at that distance. So your 15 becomes a 9. Now, you can spend another round to aim, and on your longbow, it has an accuracy of 3. So you would get +3, and then any additional rounds you do after that, you get another +1, up to, I think, 2 or 3 more rounds. So you could get +4 or +4 or +5, or +5 or +6. But it would take that many rounds.
Gotcha. Okay.
So or not 6 rounds, but
I've got my bow in my hand.
Yep.
And when it's my turn, I'll quick draw.
Okay, so the big brute, he has got his two-handed, and he sees you, and oh yeah, he's not the smartest of all. He's going to come running at you. All right, Stan.
All right, I'm going to quick draw.
Yep. Fast draw arrow. Okay. And you are...
And now I will, so I've knocked an arrow, now I will aim.
So
that's
what you did this round. You quick draw the arrow, you have now knocked it.
Okay.
Next round you can aim.
Okay.
Following round you can shoot.
I can either aim or fire next round. Okay.
Right, exactly. Okay, that is stand. So now the magistrate, he stood up, and both of you roll perception rolls. Oh, you both easily see this. So he stands up, and he has like those police batons that have the 90-degree handle on them that you could kind of spin around if you want. He has 2 of them and whips them up. Officially, they're called tonfas. Tonfas? Tonfas? But he pulls these things up and has them in like double baton kind of thing. He's all set to smack people with those. He is. Let's see. Yeah, he. Oh, I got mine in private mode. That's why. All right. Yeah. He takes a step and then he yells after you, Geralt. He's like, "Hey, don't jump in there!" Actually, he's much lower voice. He's like, "Hey!" That was his. All right. This guy... Did somebody draw a circle?
Yeah, I don't know how to get rid of it.
No problem, I got it. You were in the measurement mode and you drew a circle. So to get rid of that, you put your mouse over the center of it and then click on it and hit the delete key, and that's how you can get rid of it. So this guy in the back, dang it, I'm in draw mode, didn't want to be. He takes a step and finishes getting his shield on his left arm. And the same thing, this guy takes a step forward and finishes getting his shield adjusted. And Geralt, it is your turn.
All right. Yes, I'm going to take a step, and then I'll ready my two-handed swing with my bastard sword on the condition that anyone comes within range.
Okay. So yes, you're doing a wait. So if somebody
wait.
Yeah. So if somebody comes in within range, you will swing at them. All right. And the brute. Let's see. Does he see this? He's running. We'll do that, and we'll see. Oh no. He doesn't recognize what you're doing. Does he have the move for it? Oh yeah. He's coming straight in.
Oh, it's the oldest trick in the book. Coming right into me.
And so you get your attack first.
Yep. It's two-handed swing. Click the target. Okay. Success.
All right. He is. Oh yeah. I mean, he was stupid that he came running into you, but he saw that swing and takes a step back, does a retreating dodge, and you miss. Yes, yeah, this was a mistake. When you do a move and attack, you can't block or retreat, or I think parry with the weapon you're attacking with. And I did a dodge retreat, which I should not have allowed. Oh well, small mistake. He, however, is then going to turn around and take this massive war stick and try to hit you. Oh, and he fails. He fails horribly. So no big deal there. All right, Stan, what are you doing?
All right. So now this guy is.
You got double mic going on.
Oh, my back. Are we back?
Your Discord restarted on the Mac.
Oh, let's go. All right.
Oh,
okay.
you're back. Oh, I didn't see that. Hang on.
Back on the video. Let's do it. All right.
Let me fix the thing. I didn't notice you were back.
Okay, so Stan, this turn, this guy is at a -4 now, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a reasonable chance to hit. I'm gonna pull out my bow, and or I'm already got my bow drawn, and now I am going to fire at the guy standing in front of Jeffrey. Assuming these civilians have, taken cover at least. Hopefully, they're not in the way, not blocking my line of fire here.
You're gonna. So there is this guy right here.
Oh, he hasn't ducked to the floor yet.
Let's see. NPCs act like NPCs act. So this guy, he's eating some food, and a brawl seems to start, although nobody swung at anything, just some yelling and some running. So I figured I'd give it a -1 and roll against his IQ to see if he knows what to do. He's an old one.
Stupid. Come on.
Yeah, well, let's see if he gets the concept. No, he's kind of looking around. What? So it's going to be a little harder to thread through there. It'd probably throw a few more minuses at you. Maybe 2 more. Be -6.
I guess I'll aim at that guy then, and while I'm aiming, I'm shouting, "Get down!" To these people around.
All right, I'll set your maneuver to aim. That way we can remember. Well, we got to fix that bug, man. That thing's killing me. Okay, then the magistrate, curses under his breath, and he starts running. He doesn't go over the table, but he'll run around the table. With his batons out, and he's like, "Ah!" And then he starts to run. And he starts to run. All right. Geralt. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna swing away.
Use some extra effort. Mighty blow.
I
guess that's after you.
Well, so the thing is, I didn't want you to put it in the box beforehand, but you have to tell me you're doing it. And if you miss, you're still going to spend the fatigue because the energy.
Okay. I'll commit to a mighty blow.
Okay.
On this big baddie in front of me. So
All right. You hit twice, but you didn't need to.
And so yeah.
Nope, not yet. Not yet.
Hang on,
He's gonna see if he's gonna
defend.
He's like, yeah, he sees that thing coming. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna take a step back. Oh, and fails. And yes, another error. If he had been able to retreat after he did the move and attack, then you're not allowed to retreat again until your turn comes again. So this is really right after his turn. So he shouldn't have been able to retreat. So it's a good thing he critically failed and missed the retreat anyway. So he tries to take a step back, and he gets his foot caught in the chair a little bit, and he stumbles, and you're able to swing at him. So now, hover over the modifier bucket, and that window pops up. And down under the melee attack, extra effort, it says +2 damage, mighty blow, costs 1 fatigue. And if you click that, it will go into the modifier bucket, and you'll see a +2.
Okay, so now that's just a modifier now.
Right, and now you just roll your damage, and it'll add the 2 to the damage, and automatically, so you can see that it adds 2, and it automatically subtracts your fatigue point in doing so.
Nice.
So we apply to the brute. Now, by default, all attacks go against the torso, and if you look on your character sheet, you can see, what you have for armor on your torso. I think it's like 2 points of damage resistance, DR. If you want to hit something else, that takes a minus. Like, if you want to try to go for the eyes, that's a -9. Vitals, if you're doing the vitals, it's a -3. But by default, everything else goes after the torso. So you do a big swing at this guy, and it's a monster hit. It cuts into his armor. He's got kind of a banded leather armor, and it cuts in, and yeah, you can see bleeding, and he takes a kind of noise, but he's still standing. And again, I'm not using the rules as written concerning health checks. I'm trying to keep a fast pace here because combat in GURPS is kind of slow, and I'm doing my best to get back to the characters as fast as possible. So I try to make rolls when possible. If I think of that, if I think of the health roll, then I'll make it. But if not, I'm not worried about getting it perfect. Okay. Yep. So now it is his turn. He is going to take a step back and ready his maul again, because he had taken such a big swing with it. It takes a while to get it back and ready to swing again. So he is facing you. I should paste that down. There we go. Stan, what are you doing?
So can the civilians roll again to get out of the way? Because I shouted at them.
You did shout at them. All right.
They are kind of in the way.
There's
All
another
right.
one in the line of fire now, though.
So let's give this one a favorable. See if he made it. Oh yeah. So he drops to the ground, and I'll give him a favorable. See if he can drop to the ground. Oh, you know what? He's not completely certain. So he starts to kneel. He's like, what? Okay. He sees that guy there, and he thinks he's going to kneel, but he sees this dude, and he's like, and he starts maybe trying to move a little bit out of the way, but that puts it like right in line. So here's the deal. You'll take a -1. And there's a whole set of GURPS rules on cover and attacking into cover, and I wasn't going to go look them up. I just, out of thin air, said, take a -1, and let's go.
All right, on top of -4.
Whatever the distance is. So normally, if you just have the the normal selection, and you control click and drag, you get the measurement thing. And then if you click it, it goes into the modifier button, the correct distance. So you're at a -4, it looks like, ish.
-4.
And then you got to throw another
-4 for range, and then I'll just add a -1.
Yeah.
So I'm at a -5, and my aim gave me a +1.
No, it gave you should have given you a +3. So on your character
add your
sheet,
weapons accuracy to your skill. My weapons accuracy is 3.
Yep, the longbow should show 3.
Oh yeah,
and on the
3.
token action HUD under range longbow, it does have add AC +3. So if we get this right, should have a -4 for range, -1 for stupidity, +3 for range or for accuracy.
2. So -2. All right,
go for it. Roll the attack. And yep. At first, I'm a little confused because nothing happened, and then I noticed Pat rolled the bow skill, not the bow attack, the ranged attack. And the reason I was confused is because I've added in all kinds of sounds and animations for all the attacks. I've found, free sound files on the various Foundry modules, and of course the JB2A animations. And I've just used the chat commands, the anim and the /sound chat command, to add animations in when anybody does an attack. And it just makes the game, I think, a little more engaging since we're not there. Not necessary, of course, but I think fun. And so I was a little disappointed. His bow shot didn't, make the sound or shoot the arrow, and it was because he clicked on the wrong button. It still worked. It was the right skill, but the wrong button.
Success.
Right. Success. Just made it.
All right, so the brute has already dodged, retreated this turn, so he can't retreat dodge. Would he have seen that? Let us see if he would have seen that coming. Yeah, he keeps his eye out, even with the -1. So, does he think he can take that? He's not that smart, but let's see. Yeah, he thinks he can take it. You know, I think so. So, roll for some damage. Chalk it up to combat jitters. I mean, this is the first big combat. The wolves were a warm-up act. I had him perceive to see, a roll perception to see would he know that he's being shot by a bow, and he made it. So he should have at least gotten a dodge. But I forgot all about it and let him roll damage. Oh well. Oh!
Feeling. Let's go.
But too bad you didn't aim for the vitals.
Wow. Would have missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, torso. There we go. Oh yeah, you
Nice.
you smack into him. He sees it. You know, he takes this hit in the gut. He's like, oh, and so it's, you know, sitting out the left breastplate, just kind of stuck on the outside. Okay. The magistrate sees those guys. He's going to go here. He's just going to move to there and not do anything. Since he moved more than one step, he can't do a move and wait. He's literally just moving. And I don't know if you see it. You should see it. There's a kind of a gray cross. So that tells you that your starting place in case you move something and you're like, oh, that wasn't right. That way you can remember where you came from. Oops. All right, didn't mean to do that. Gotta go back. Big guard. Yeah, he sees his buddy not doing too well. He can't move that far. He's coming right up on his buddy. And he's just moving. And then same thing. He's moving up here. And there we go. Okay. Geralt, back to you.
Yeah, I'm going to take one step forward and then take another swing on our reeling buddy over here.
Okay.
Feeling it.
And not going to do a muddy, but... Hit him.
Well, he still so now it is the full turn since the last time he did that. He's going to try to retreat dodge, but he's hurting, so it's not as good. You know what? Is he going to do that? Yeah, he sees this big sword coming in, and he's like, ugh. So instead, he takes a step back and tries to whip his maul up there to knock your sword out of the way. Let's see. Oh, or not.
Oh.
So you see your sword swing is coming through, and it's one of your big monstrous swings, and he starts to take a step back, but he's wobbling, so instead he takes his maul, and he's going to pull it up and knock your sword out of the way. But instead, you see his eyes just roll in the back of his head, and he collapses from the exertion. So he is down on the ground and out.
He's just sleeping.
You're about to cut him in half.
And your sword swing is still going through, so do your damage.
Yeah.
This is as he's trying to defend. This happens to him.
Like, he was awake. You don't understand. He was awake.
As you slice into him, as he's falling down, you're slicing up his side some more. if you were a priest, you would feel like you need confession. But yeah, he's definitely not doing anything. Let's see if he can. Can he wake up? So yeah, his eyes open as he bounces on the ground, and his eyes open up for a second, and he's looking at you with utter hatred. Okay, we've established the fact that I'm not doing the health rolls correctly, right? I just want to get that clear. I'm not doing it right. But yeah, I should have prepared more. But, you know, we're having fun, and we got a pretty good chuckle out of that last exchange. Stan, what you doing?
All right. Is there any way I can move and load an arrow?
You can take a step.
All right, I'll take a step. I'll just take a step forward.
All right.
Get close to the action here. Yeah. Well, actually, gotta use my free steps, and then I'll do quick draw on my arrow again.
Okay. I will set your maneuver to ready. Nice.
You would be a ranged character.
You were the one that just charged right in. We could let him come.
Oh, an arrow and a bar fight, Pat. Give me a.
Well, the thing that you may not have known, well, you probably wouldn't have known, is if you had missed, the arrow keeps going. There's a couple people behind him you could have peppered.
He was counting on it.
You normally shoot in the woods, and so this whole shooting inside a building thing is kind of new to you. But it's okay. You did your move. He sees that, you know what, he is going to go into a wait. See what happens. This guy, does he recognize that? No, he sees that, and he's going to charge right into him. And so he is going to try. So the magistrate had come up, and he's got his two batons there. And the big guard sees him and just bull charges him. He's like, "Argh!" He's got his shield in front of him and his short sword, and he's about to swing down. And the magistrate takes his two things, and would he have done that beforehand? Let me see if he would have. Yeah. All right, somebody give me a D6 roll. We'll say on a 5 or 6 he does.
All right, I got it.
Okay, he doesn't. All right, no problem. So he takes his things, and the guy's coming in, and he is just going to wrap him. Just go whack, whack. So he's going to do that and that. And see if he can get a hit. Yes. So the big guard is charging in, and he sees this, and he's like, oh, shit. So he pulls up his shield, and yes, so many errors. Okay, you can't shield block when you're doing a move and attack. By the way, the magistrate was using the rapid strike, but he's sort of an NPC, sort of a hero, so I was allowing him to use the flurry of blows extra effort, so it was only a -3 to attack, but it did use up his fatigue, because we're going to keep track of that fatigue over time, and if he runs out of fatigue, he runs out of fatigue. Let's see, he's just going to stand in for this one. Oh, he misses the block. So here comes one swing. Nice. Oh, not to Geralt. I have the wrong guy targeted. Why do you keep targeting that person? Stop it. It's supposed to be him. Oh yeah, that was a good wrap. Wraps him one time, and then he's going to try the same thing again with the second one. He's doing that thing that you would do, Pat,
Flurry.
the flurry of blows. Now it cost him 2 fatigue points to do the 2, and he missed the second one. So the big guard comes running in, and the magistrate whacks him with one and tries to swing with the other and misses. And now it's the guard's attack. And he is going to just overhand swing with his short sword. And Frederick, what's he going to do? He's going to retreat dodge. He's going to back up. Oh yeah, he easily dodges out of that thing. Are we keeping track of errors? I've lost count. But yeah, he should have had a -4 to his attack with maximum 9 because it was a move and attack. But I forgot about it. It didn't really matter because the magistrate made his dodge. And he... You know what? He's going full speed, and he's got his shield out, so he sees what you did to Brute. So Gralt, he lowers his shield, and he's ramming right into you. He's gonna slam you with his shield and possibly knock you on your ass. So let us see if he can shield bash. Ooh, all right. So he is shield bashing on you. How do you want to defend? You can't retreat dodge because you'll just be right in his path. So you can dodge. If you parry, there's a chance you might lose your weapon because this is a 200-pound guy with a big medium shield charging through. If he knocks your weapon, he might be able to knock you down. I mean, knock your weapon out of your hands. Although you're kind of strong. It's up to you.
All right, I'm gonna do a parry. Try to parry, I guess.
All right. So you should, under defenses, have a parry. Or it's on your character sheet on the weapon.
I have parry.
Reading parry.
Sword.
Yeah, you don't get the repeating parry. You can just do parry. Or if you're looking at your character sheet, the parry column for your bastard sword.
I got it. Parry. Yeah.
Oh, no parry. So, he is going to slam into you. Let me do the slam damage. Apply to Geralt. Yes. It was an all-out attack. Strong. So, we resolve. Boom. So, Geralt... Oh, dang it. That's not what I meant to do. I had... Why isn't... That was the wrong person. Let me do that again.
Geralt Jr.
Yeah, exactly. You're targeted, but that's the guy who's doing the slamming. Slam. All attack. Strong. 2. 2. Okay. Go. Oh, the guard slams into Geralt Jr. He's doing an all-out attack strong and the shield. So, Geralt, you have to roll versus your dex or fall down. That button right there in the chat window, you can just click it, and it will roll your dex. And you just made it. So, he moves through you, smashes you with your shield. Okay, it finally happened. I had to go look up a rule. I was trying to make the combat more interesting by showing, slamming into people. I knew that the GURPS Game Aid for Foundry had a slam damage calculator. So I tried to do that, but as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, it's not explaining it well, and I wasted so much time with that. I will say, as being one of the co-developers, since then, I've added in the missing features. So now you can calculate slam damage based on the basic set or the new Dungeon Fantasy RPG slam damage, which I prefer better. And it puts out damage chat messages to let you know how much damage each person does to each other, which, I don't know, I wasted 5-10 minutes on that. And to me, it's my cardinal sin, wasting my players' time. That's why I like GURPS. If I don't know the rule, I usually make it up on the fly and let's go. In this one case, I extended my reach a little too far and tried to do something I didn't know how to do. All right, so he spent all of his energy putting in to try to knock you down. And it was a good solid hit, but not solid enough. And you braced yourself and you felt like he was going to knock you over, but you were able to recover, and it is now your turn.
Well, I'm going to shake that off and, well, shoot, I guess I'm going to take a swing at the guy sleeping on the ground.
Well, he's not sleeping now. He woke up and he's got a pissed off look at you, but he is on the ground.
Fair game, buddy.
All right.
I will.
So here's, if you target him, on the top right of your screen should be a little panel that says effect modifiers brute, or effect modifiers brute, and then target brute, or actually it should say effect modifiers Geralt, and then target brute -2 to be hit with ranged combat. Oh, that's ranged. You're not, so it doesn't matter. When he's on the ground, it's harder for Stan to shoot him with a bow, but you can swing at him.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'm swinging.
Okay. Oh, man. All right, he is down. He tried to parry last time. He's trying to crawl away from you. Let's see if he can. No, he's crawling back. He does go back, but he's just crawling on the ground. And although you can't see it, there's blood splattered everywhere, but do some damage. Fly on the brute. Oh yeah, he's... Let's see if he can... Yeah, you smacked him hard. He's still just like, he took it. Now, I mean, he's bleeding. There's blood splattering everywhere, but he just doesn't seem like he wants to give up. All right. It's his turn. Man, what's he going to do? All right. He, on the ground, he drops his maul and just tries to leap at you. But let's see if he can do it. All right, he pulls himself up and he's just like, and he does he have any skill? No, he doesn't really have any skill, so we'll just try this. And he looks like he's coming right at you. He's going to try to, he's midair trying to bear hug you. What do you want to do? And yes, I made up this whole desperation leaping from the ground to try to bear hug the opponent thing all on the fly. I have no idea what kind of rules would apply to this. But hey, it was thematic. It seemed like it fit the story.
I parry him.
No. The thing is, he's 300 pounds, 250 pounds
He's too big,
in the air, If you could
I have
slice him
to-
in half like butter, then yes. But if not, you put your sword up there and he'll just slam it into you. Now, you can't retreat dodge because there's a guy right behind you. So you got a couple of options. You could just dodge, or you could dive to the left or right. You get +3, but then you'll be on the ground.
No.
Acrobatic dodge.
You could acrobatic dodge, where you try to, flip in space, or do a maneuver, a spin maneuver, and
I'll do a regular dodge.
you don't want to try an acrobatic dodge?
Oh yeah, actually, definitely want to do that.
Go for it. So
right.
he's coming at you, and you see him coming, and so you're going to try the acrobatic dodge. So you're going to do that deal where it's like a high jump. You're going to kind of like flip over him as he goes underneath you.
Oh yeah, classic oopty. Hit him with the fakes. Let's go.
So actually, on your character sheet or under skills, I think it was under skills. Let me check. Yeah, there was a on the fly button, one of those yellow buttons called acrobatic dodge, where it's all been programmed in. But you've already made it. So another one of those on the fly formulas. It just says, if you make your acrobatics roll, then roll dodge at a +2, else roll dodge at a -2. And it gives a nice little name, acrobatic dodge, for the button. But this is you programming your character sheet on the fly. So now just add a +2 to the modifier bucket, either with your mouse wheel or just pressing on that +2, and then roll dodge.
Okay.
Okay. By the way, so now do that. You've done it. I just want to show you how it works otherwise. Either from your character sheet or from the token action HUD under skills, move over to that yellow acrobatic dodge and click it. And it'll do this combined thing where you're like, oh, you made it, and in that case you would have failed it. But you made it. So you see him coming. Thing is, he's coming from the ground and it's slippery with blood, and so he's not getting a lot of vertical. He's only maybe 2 feet off. He's sort of going at your knees, and you just roll over the top of him as he, well, let's see, actually, he blow into, no, 10. So he dives, how far can he jump? That I need to look up. It's in the PDF for combat. Don't think
Move divided by 2 or jumping divided by 4.
Yep, there. Thank you. Just took me too long to get the damn thing open.
Have
So
faith in combat.
oh yeah, so he jumps at you and basically plops on the ground right in front of you. His feet slipped in the blood, and he plops down right there. Stan, what you doing?
All right, so I have my bow drawn here, so I could just try to attack this guy at a -3. Looks like for this. Yeah, -3. So let's
So there's one bad
just,
guy here. Oh, again, I forgot to maybe set these guys.
Yeah,
hostile.
I'm targeting the guy in front of the magistrate over here.
Gotta remember to set these guys to hostile. Okay. Yeah, the magistrate. You're gonna take a -1. Just the magistrate's still sort of, there. They're
Yeah, so it'll be a -4 then. We'll try it.
gonna just do a snapshot. No aiming.
Just no aiming.
Go for it.
That's why why I train so hard here.
Yep. Ooh.
Success. That's good.
All right. Again, well, he knows. Maybe he doesn't remember there was a bowman. He got wrapped on top of the head, but I will give him a perception chance. See if he gets anything. Nope. All right. He he sees it coming at the last moment, but doesn't do anything really well with it. He doesn't go backwards. He just tries to dodge and fails horribly.
All right, so let's do some damage. Oh, great.
Okay.
Re-impaling damage.
Yep.
And I take a step as well. I'm just going to move a step forward.
Okay.
I should have done that before.
That's all right. So you have attacked. It's ranged attack, but it still works. All right, so the arrow sticks in him. It you can see it just barely penetrates through the armor that he has. Barely. And now he does he see this shot coming over his shoulder? Nope. He's like, what the fuck? So he is going to take a step here and wait. Try to figure out what the hell is going on. This is the most painful part about rewatching this video like 10 times because of the editing, was all the time I took trying to figure out what the NPCs were going to do. I wanted them to do something realistic in the situation, but I spent over a minute just trying to decide what this guy does. Trust me, I get better at it in future episodes. Gonna try to get behind Frederick and swing at him, but he's doing a full move, so he's got to do the move and attack. Yes, I forgot Frederick's weight maneuver. I've got to do better at looking at the maneuver icons to remember what's going on. And he's going to swing his short sword. Oh, and misses. So he just got stuck with this arrow, and he's like, oh, crap. So he runs behind these people, but he sees the magistrate that he's supposed to try to take out. He swings at him, but it's wild and misses completely. And this guy is like, what the heck? Oh, well, shit. He's going to turn right around and smack at you. And is he going to do anything fancy with it? Yeah, he is gonna try it twice. So the guard is going to go. So Geralt, this the guy who ran past you and tried to knock you down has turned around and like, oh shit, and he takes his short sword and he swings it one way and he's gonna hit. You're facing the exact wrong way, and you can't retreat dodge because well, you could retreat dodge, but you would have to roll Dex -2 to stay standing because there's a squirming enemy on the ground right there. Actually, no, you can't retreat dodge. Or you could, but that guy would just pull you down. You would not do it. You're smart enough to know that you would not do it. So, that you can't parry because you're facing the wrong way. Your parry only works on the front half and your weapon hand. I'm assuming both of you are right-handed, although it doesn't matter so much for you, Stan.
Yeah.
And you can only block from the front half and the off-weapon side. So he's coming from behind, so all you can do is dodge.
Okay.
Okay, another missed rule, but I've stopped counting. Since he was attacking from the back, literally straight behind him, then Geralt should actually have a -4 to defend. Turns out it didn't matter in any case, but I really wish I had remembered to tell them so that the players understand better where the modifiers affect them when they're attacking.
Well, that's what I'm going to do.
Or you can acrobatic dodge. You could see it coming and...
Oh no.
You had a -3 for range in there, but you rolled an 11, which still would have missed with a 10.
Okay.
So he is going to roll a pitiful slash at you, and you take a cut to the torso, and he does it again. Oh, so close. And you got another chance to dodge. Or acrobatic dodge if you want.
Okay, I'll try an acrobatic dodge.
Ah, you make this great flip in the air, except that guard saw that move once, and just his second swing plops right into you. Let's see. I'll attack double. And so he's going to do that. Oh, much better. Oh, yeah. All right, so we're going to do that. All right, so he whacks you good, and it blows through a bunch of your armor, and you're going to have to roll against your health to avoid being stunned or knocked down. Now, you have high pain threshold. So on that chat message that says Geralt Jr. suffers a major wound, click on the +3 for high pain threshold, and then click on the button up top that says roll HT to avoid stun or knockdown.
Nice.
Suplex. Yeah.
That's where like a story point might be.
All right, well, yeah, you could do
Or
that.
do I wait till I'm like gonna die or something?
Well, let's see. What's your hit points now? You're 4 out of 16.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing about GURPS. You don't die when you get to 0 hit points. Actually, what you do is you start rolling against your health to stay up. And you guys each have okay healths. You only roll to see if you die-ish when you get to minus your maximum hit points. So you would only roll to see if you die if you get it to -16 hit points. And you can actually, if you keep making your health rolls, you don't die. And you only check again every time you did a multiple of your maximum. So -1 times, or -2 times, -3. Now, when you get to -5 times your hit points, your maximum hit points, then you're goo on the floor and you are dead. There is no way to come back from that. You're completely obliterated if you take -10 times your hit points. So you're not dead yet, but yeah, you could take a story point and say that was just a flesh wound, and we sort of reset all this back to, not taking 9 points of injury. You would just take 1.
Well, let's let it ride for now and see how it goes. I want to see how being hurt works.
As an experienced GURPS player, I would have taken the story point right then and there for the 1 point of damage, but these guys are brand new to GURPS, and he was like, I want to see what it's like. What is injury like? So I was like, sure, go right ahead. I try to help them a little bit later because of this, but he wanted to test it out, and I wanted to let him. Okay, so one of the things that has happened to you, though, is you're now reeling. And if you look at your character sheet, if you open up your character sheet, your hit points, it shows 4 over 16. Reeling is in blue, and the little heart is beating.
Yeah.
And what that does, you got a private chat message, just you and I see it, that says Geralt Jr. is reeling. Move and dodge are halved. And so now your move is only 3 instead of 6, and your dodge is only 5. So there's a little bit of a death spiral with GURPS. If you start to get screwed up, then you can't defend as well and stuff.
Yeah.
So you still don't want to use that story point?
No,
It'll be fine.
I still got it,
All right. Okay. All right. So, boom. Geralt, it is your turn. Guy on
Might
the
want to consider an all-out defense or something like that.
The
right?
guy on the ground is, you can't understand why he's alive. He is sliced up to huge things, but he's looking angry at you. He's on the ground. He just dove at you and basically didn't make it, but he's there. He doesn't have his weapon anymore. He's on the ground in front of you. And the guy behind you just took his short sword and went, slice, slice. And one of them didn't do too much, and the other one, oh, he sliced you good across the back of the ribs.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to take. So there's not like attacks of opportunity
Nope.
from like disengaging and stuff.
Nope. The only way you can do attacks of opportunity is with the weight thing. So yeah, you want to run away, you can. Although your move is halved, so you can only move 3.
Yeah.
And running away will put your back to them, so if they turn around and follow after you, your defense is less.
I'll do a little sidestep here.
So which way do you want to be facing?
Well, let me think about it.
Or it's the guy that's not dead or almost dead. Maybe.
Yeah, well, I kind of wanted to finish that guy off, so there's kind of.
I mean, I don't know. Is he gonna do anything?
He seems unkillable. No, I don't know if he's unkillable, but
He's dropped his weapon.
Yeah, I want to be here. I want to face the guy that just hit me.
okay.
And I'm gonna do.
All right. I will move your turn marker. There you go.
I'll do a mighty blow onto him.
All right. So you got to roll your attack, and then if you hit, oh, do me a favor. Roll intelligence. Roll IQ.
Oh, okay.
Nah. Okay. Go for it.
Yeah.
So now you just roll your attack. Boom. Critical success.
Critical. Let's go.
Oh. So, not that it mattered, but what you were rolling the IQ for, yeah, well, I'll tell you afterwards. All right, so here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Boom. I am put... in the chat window is a chat command to roll the critical hit. So if you would click on that, it will roll a critical hit and print out the result. And normal damage. Turns out... yeah.
What about my mighty blow?
Right. So that just... all that does is... the critical hit is just determining if you get extra stuff. Right?
Oh, okay.
So now you're going to do the mighty blow. Go down to that modifier bucket. Under melee attack extra effort, there's that +2 damage mighty blow. Click it. And then roll your damage. Either by rolling it from your character sheet, the token action HUD, or in the chat window where you hit, it says damage D, bastard sword, two-handed swing. You just click that button right there in the chat window. Nice. You got a couple of mighty blows in there.
Three mighty blows.
Yeah, 3 times. You've lost a few hit points. Maybe that's not right. Here, let me give you those hit points back. /HP +2. And we would subtract off 4 points from that. So you'll do 9 points of damage. Sorry, I did the wrong thing. And HP -2 /FP +2. There we go.
I corrected.
And so it would be 9 points of damage.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, let me plop that on there. So that's 9. And this is the real beauty of playing GURPS Online in Foundry, our damage calculator. With it, you can basically do anything. As you see, we're not tied to the damage that was rolled. I dropped the damage in there, and it turns out it was 4 points too high. So I just manually edited the amount of damage that was actually applied. You can also change the hit location and the damage type, and we have rules. We have a lot of optional rules if you're playing with those. And then at the end, there's these optional things that may occur: shock, or major wound, or knockback. And then you apply the damage. And it is so much nicer than having to do that math on the fly. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, he is hurting too. Oh, but he guts it out. So you take a side step and you swing your sword across him. And it's perfect. He's hesitating, trying to figure out what to do. But the sword swing just comes in under his guard. He has no defense. By the way, that's what a critical hit does. Mm-hmm. Is if you have a critical hit, the other person gets no defense roll whatsoever. It turns out it was wasted here because the thing that you were checking your IQ for was he did an all-out attack double. That's not really. I'm teasing you. You wouldn't know that. That's one of the learning things. If you do any of the all-out attacks, you don't get a defense. Yeah. So he didn't get a defense anyway. You did a buttload of damage to him. He is still standing. Bleeding a little bit. All right. Brute on the ground. Yeah, he's got to crawl. He's
bite my kneecaps off.
He's going to crawl, and he's trying to grab your leg to see if he can do that. So he's going to go for your leg and see if he can. Oh, so he's reaching out to grab your legs.
Okay.
You can
like to do like a parry.
Oh, you could definitely do the parry if you want.
I do a retreating parry. Is that only once per round, right?
Right, but you haven't. I don't believe you retreated this round from this attack. So
actually, I can't parry because he's not in my front vision.
You're right. He is coming from that side, since you're facing this guy.
So I'll have to do a retreating dodge, then I think.
Yeah, you can retreat dodge. It'll move you to here.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. So he's reaching for your leg, and you fail because you're wounded. So he grabs a hold of your leg, and you do pull away. You can turn around to face him, but you're still wounded, and so then what do I need him to roll? Oh. It has disappeared from the character sheet. Oh, there it is. Nope. We'll do that. And we will apply to control. Apply. All right, so he's grabbed onto you. Yeah, so I have Fantastic Dungeon Grappling by Douglas Cole, and we've put in the ability to have control points in the system using one of the resource trackers, but I actually haven't read the whole thing. So I just made this up on the fly. He grabbed him, he did some kind of thrust level control points to try to keep Geralt from moving. That's all. And your control thing shows that you're grabbed. So now you would take -2 to do anything as he's on your leg at the moment. He's holding on to your leg with dear life. Okay, Stan, what do you want to do?
Okay.
So this bad guy is back in is in traffic.
Right.
This guy is on the ground.
I'm still holding my bow, and it hasn't been loaded yet. So can I drop my bow for free? Is that a free action?
Yeah, okay. But then it'll take a ready action to
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my bow and then I'm gonna do a quick draw on my knife.
All right, I'll let you do one quick draw, and then I'll let you do a second one because I'm nice at a -2.
Alright, so success on the first knife draw. Success, so I got my knives out, and and that's for free. So then I will do a heroic charge, and I'm going to move 6
Now,
yards.
So
Okay.
you can occupy the same hex as an ally. If you occupy the same hex as a combatant, you are in close combat. But you could like stand side by side with him if you want.
I have enough movement to get all the way behind the 6 yards away is the hex behind that
Right,
guy.
but here's the problem. You will have used up all your movement. You'll be facing the other way.
Oh,
You
yeah,
won't
we'll
have
go
any
to-
more movement points left to turn around.
Alright, so I will go.
Why are you going that way?
Right.
man?
So here you're crawling over the table and a guy who's, hovering in his chair trying not to get killed. You'd probably have to spend like 2 movement points. Yeah, you could go there.
I go there and turn.
And turn right.
Where's this guy?
Yep.
Alright, yeah, you're right. He can probably handle himself.
I'm on like 1 hit point, dude.
Alright, you're right. And then this way I don't have to turn, so I can run all 6 yards this way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
I'm gonna do
So
Sorry,
in the
road
modifier.
charge. I'll drop a fatigue point.
Yeah, so
my-
there is a bonus, a +0 bonus in the heroic. You saw that?
Yeah.
In the modifier bucket, under melee attack, extra effort, it says +0 heroic charge, cost 1 fatigue. We only put those in there just so that you don't have to manually subtract your own fatigue points. But
Okay, so I'm using heroic charge. Alright, and then I will. Can I also do an all-out attack?
I don't actually think you can. So again, here I commit the cardinal sin. I waste a bunch of time trying to look up a rule, and in the end, I finally say, "Oh, the heck with it. Let's go." You know what? Let's go for it. That sounds like fun. I will let you do it.
All right.
So what are you going to do?
I will do a mighty blow on the guy.
So
in
are you
front of
doing... So there's a couple options. So
Okay.
all-out attack gives you 4 things you can do. All-out attack strong gives you +2 damage. All-out attack determined gives you +4 to hit melee, +1 ranged. Or all-out attack double gives you 2 attacks. All of those you get no defense. There's all-out attack
Let's do
feint, but that's... You're not
dual
feinting.
weapon.
Okay.
Dual attack. Double attack.
So you're going to do all-out attack double.
Yes. Each at a -4. Right.
No. There's no minuses for this because you're not getting any defense.
Okay.
That's why it's different than the rapid strike. Because there
Okay,
you
so
still get defense.
it's just a regular. I'll do a thrusting attack twice.
Are you aiming at anything in particular?
The guy in front of me. No, I'll just aim for torso.
Okay. Oh, you still have that other guy targeted. All right, so you made 1 hit.
First hit.
And let's see, he's...
And
All right, you would
second
make
hit.
2, but he gets to defend on his first... All right, I'm so confused right now. So his icon, his maneuver icon, shows move and all-out attack double because of the bug that's been fixed. But if he has all-out attack double, then he wouldn't get any defense. But honestly, by this time, it is the end of the evening. I'm exhausted. I just don't care. We're going to finish up here in a little bit because of time. So I just let it go. He gets some defense. He is facing that. That's coming from his right-hand side. So he could parry. He could try to...
Oh, he can't parry on that.
Yeah, because it's not back. Back is where you can't. So he
It
can't
says it's-
he can't parry there, and he can't parry from your side, but he could parry from any of the front 3 hexes, and he's right-handed, so this is the right-handed
okay.
side. So he could, but that's because he's facing this way. He's facing the wrong way. Yeah, he's going to have to. He's going to take a step and do a retreating parry to see if he can block this thing coming in. So his first one, boom, blocks that one. And since it's the same attack, he still gets the retreating bonus. So, but parries, you get a -4 for every consecutive attack. So you can dodge all day long. Doesn't matter about dodging. And you can block all day long. But parries, you have to yeah, it's -4. Oh, so much wrong here. Well, he wasn't supposed to get a defense, but because he got a defense, it is coming from the side, so he should be taking -2 to these things. And then I say you can block all day long, but you can't. I find out later you can only block once per melee round. So, whatever. It's late at night, and like I said, I'm exhausted.
You get overloaded.
You get overloaded. So he's going to try the same thing again. We got a -4, and he's going to retreat parry.
Oh.
And he spends a story point. No, he doesn't.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So he parries one, and the second one gets through. Yeah, he doesn't get story points.
It's awesome.
Roll for a day.
All right.
Oh, only 2 points.
All right. So we plop that sucker on there, and you stab him, and basically it sticks into the armor and doesn't go in. You slice. You kind of jab and you pull it back.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it hurt him. Okay, Frederick. This guy ran around him. He's going to try it again. He's pissed, and I forgot about his weight maneuver, so he is just going to go crazy. He's going to all-out attack double, and then one of those all-out attacks, he's going to do his whole rapid strike thing. So he's going to do the first swing. He's pissed. He's screaming. He's like, motherfucker! So one swing, and then he is... let's see. That's melee. That's quick notes. He's going to do that and try it again with that. And, failed on that one. He's going to try it again with that. Boom. So he got two hits. So this guy sees one coming in, and he's gonna retreat block. So he's gonna get +1. Actually, his shield is better than that. So he's gonna step back. Gets that. He also gets +1 for the retreat. Boom. And then he rolls his block. So the first smash comes down, and he blocks that, and he gets to do it again. Yes, I know. He's not supposed to be able to do it again. And makes that. So the magistrate is pissed, and he's just swinging like wildly at him, and the guardsman has got his shield, and he's just going block, 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 block. At this point, we quit for the night. I asked Jeff and Pat afterwards, what did they think? And they both really enjoyed it, which was my primary purpose. You may have noticed two things. I love to use the wing it rule, and I make a lot of mistakes. But for me, the biggest mistake is wasting my players' time, which is maybe why I like the wing it rule so much. If I can't figure out the official rules as written, I just wing it and move on. A few times during the evening I stopped to look up something, and I really didn't like doing it. Also, I did make a lot of mistakes. I forgot things and didn't apply rules correctly. But I remember way back, many hundreds of years ago, when I played some musical instruments. And if you made a mistake then, you just kept going. You don't try to go back and fix it, because that sort of ruins the song, especially if you're playing with other people. And I think the same goes for role-playing games. I try not to roll back my mistakes unless it's very detrimental to the players, or the players point it out and prefer that I fix it, so of course, I do. In my future videos, I probably won't comment as much because, trust me, this took way too many days to edit, much more time than I wanted to spend. But I thought it would be worth it, and hopefully you did too. If you've made it this far and haven't already subscribed, please do so. It helps me know if I should continue to make more content like this. And as always, thank you for watching.